You're looking live at famed Darlington Raceway in South Carolina, where today an era will end and a new chapter in super speedway racing will begin. The sun has risen more than 16,000 times over the track they call the Lady in Black. 34 drivers have survived the demons that were spirited away in her famed high banks. Surviving was the ultimate reward. To cross the line and snatch her most prestigious checkered flag wrote you into her history. She has thrilled millions over the years who saw the future of super speedway racing grow. They could only have guessed that it would be this one-of-a-kind racetrack that would carry the calling card of too tough to tame. Born in a soybean field in the sandhills of South Carolina, this lady saw many new stars rise.
They're coming to the finish line. It is Darrell Waltrip winning the Rebel 500.
They're going to get the checkered flag? Yes, they are. Terry Labonte gets the checkered flag.
Bill Elliott is going toward immortality. Bill Elliott has won an additional $1 million in 1985.
And brought other rising stars crashing down to earth.
There's been a crash on the home stretch. A car upside down. It is Richard Petty.
The old lady of super speedways has bucked the best from her high banks. Your legend carried no status here.
Yarborough's trying to pass. They're in deep trouble. Cale Yarborough's over the wall.
It's a place that you can think you can go out and be running good and think you have the track conquered, and all of a sudden it just bites you. It's definitely a track too tough to tame.
One man has ignored her warning and survived here a record 10 times.
It's too tough to tame. And I said to myself, if anybody's going to tame it, I was going to tame it.
Through the decades, it became readily apparent that it was Dale Earnhardt's destiny not just to win at Darlington, but to dominate. Despite changing hairstyles, car colors, and makes, the results didn't vary. Usually when the day was done, it was Dale who had won. His 9 wins have placed him one shy of tying South Carolina's legendary Silver Fox, David Pearson. The desire and determination are there. You can see it in his eyes. After all, this is Darlington, and for Dale, it must be destiny. This could be the true test for Dale Earnhardt. By taking the Champions Provisional, he will start 43rd in today's field. Never in the storied history of this facility has a driver come from that far back to win. No one, not Ned, Fireball, Cale, or even David could pull it off. Some say it's impossible, but don't tell that to a man who has dazzled us here for 2 decades.
We have seen fortunes turn quickly in the ultra-competitive NASCAR Winston Cup circuit, but none quicker than 2 weeks ago when the man who seemed bulletproof took a direct hit in the belly of his engine as the bottom dropped out 59 laps into the 500-miler. His last place finish dropped him from the NASCAR Winston Cup points lead to a distant 4th place, 72 points behind Dale Jarrett. He now finds himself at the unpredictable high banks of Darlington, where he has won the last 3 times. But can he once again tame the Lady in Black? First it was the Silver Fox, then it was the Man in Black. Now the Rainbow Warrior tries to continue to race into the record books and get his championship quest back on track.
Now, you might expect with the success that Jeff Gordon has experienced the last 3 races here at Darlington Raceway that they've got some kind of magical setup that makes the car gold every time. But in fact, his crew chief Ray Evernham has told me that each of the 3 wins have come with a different setup under the car, and that holds true for today. And they hope that this new setup carries them to victory lane for a record 4th time and also puts them in the history books as winning here the last race at Darlington before they move the front stretch to the back stretch.
This son has risen to championship form. Consistency has led to victory, putting him on top in the Winston Cup points chase. Now he focuses on one of his most bitter enemies, the Lady in Black. In 18 fights, he's never won, last time defeated by a crushing body blow.
Amanda Wall.
She put a wall between him and his $1 million, flattening Dale's Ford and Dale's dream. Now he's the points leader and pole sitter. Today, the rising sun hopes he does not become one of the Lady's falling stars. Same track, same car, same starting position, and the same driver. But it's not September, so it's a different story for Dale Jarrett. Today, he's not chasing the $1 million pot of gold. Instead, he's pursuing valuable points in his first ever win at Darlington. After he won the pole, I asked him if this track owed him one. His words said no, but his eyes said yes. Saturday, he said this is the toughest track this series races on. But any driver that tells you this isn't the toughest track they've ever raced at has never raced at Darlington.
ESPN Speed World welcomes you live on a beautiful Sunday afternoon to Darlington Raceway in South Carolina, and our coverage of the NASCAR Winston Cup TranSouth Financial 400. Entering this fifth event of the 1997 NASCAR Winston Cup season, Dale Jarrett has a 29-point lead on defending series champ Terry Labonte. Jeff Gordon slipped to fourth after Atlanta's last place finish. The top five separated by 101 points. The second five led by Ricky Rudd. They're separated by only 40 markers, with Jeff Bodine and Ernie Irvin tied for 10th in the point standings. Hi, everyone. I'm Bob Jenkins, along with Ned Jarrett and Benny Parsons, and we're set to go. Now, you have heard our pit reporters talk about the storylines here. Dale Jarrett, Dale Earnhardt, and Jeff Gordon. But when you get right down to it, the only storyline at Darlington is the track itself.
The track itself, Bob. It's been a big story all week that when we come back here in September that the racetrack will be flip-flop. The front stretch will be the back stretch and vice versa. It's not going to change the racetrack, though. It's still going to be the same old Darlington. It'll jump up and bite you at any time. You cannot let your concentration lapse for just one moment. If you do, you're going to be in the wall or into another car or in deep trouble.
You know, I walked through the garage here this morning and I talked to car owners, mechanics, crew chiefs, and drivers. And I said, how's the car? How we doing? And I got the same reply. Well, this is Darlington. And that says it all, folks. This is Darlington. When you start the race, you really and truly don't know what you have until 40, 50 laps into the race. And then we'll find out who has the better car.
Well, it's going to be the largest starting field in the history of this race. 43 cars and drivers set to go in this 400-mile event. Here's the starting lineup. On the pole will be Dale Jarrett, second straight pole here at Darlington, alongside Ricky Craven, his 68th race. Bobby Labonte will start third. It's his fourth finish at Atlanta that's moved him up in the point standings. And Jeff Bodine, 4 Darlington poles here. Mark Martin starts fifth. He has 1 Darlington win. Jeff Burton, 2 top 5s in 1997. Then Hud Strickland starts 7th. He was second in last September's Southern 500. Ernie Irvin drove his first race in the number 28 car here in September of 93. Sterling Marlin, the 95 winner of this event, starts 9th alongside Jeff Gordon, who's looking for a record 4 straight. Starting 11th will be Lake Speed. His only Winston Cup win was here in '88, and Terry Labonte, first Winston Cup win was here in 1980. Starting 13th will be Ken Schrader, and Gary Bradbury starting in 14th spot.
Back in row 8, we find Rusty Wallace. In row 8.
Benny.
Back in row 8, we find Rusty Wallace in the Miller Ford, Ricky Rudd on the outside. Row 9 is Mike Wallace and Bill Elliott. Row 10, Jeremy Mayfield and Dave Marcus. Then comes Ted Musgrave and David Green. Morgan Shepherd, his great run in Atlanta, will start 23rd, and Greg Sachs beside him. Derek Cope and Jimmy Spencer make up the next row, and Michael Waltrip and Kyle Petty, 27th and 28th.
Then starting in 29th position will be Phil Parsons, who is substituting for Joe Nemechek. Kenny Wallace will start in 30th position. Back in the 16th row, we have Brett Bodine and Chad Little. John Andretti and Mike Skinner will go from the next row. Starting in the 18th row, Robert Presley and Johnny Benson. 37th starter is Bobby Hillen, and the pole sitter from Atlanta, Robbie Gordon, who was the slowest qualifier to get in the field. These next drivers got in on provisionals, Bobby Hamilton and Ward Burton. Also Darrell Waltrip and Rick Mast, and choosing a champions provisional to get into the field, Dale Earnhardt. He'll start in 43rd spot. There were 3 drivers who failed to make the field here this weekend: Dick Trickle, Billy Standridge, and Steve Grissom. Now the manufacturer's points are led by Ford with 30 markers. They have 21 cars in today's field. Chevrolet is 2 points behind in the championship. They have 14 representatives, and there are 8 Pontiacs in the field. They have accumulated 18 points in the Manufacturers Championship in 1997. When we come back, we'll be back for the green flag and the end of an era here at Darlington Raceway in South Carolina. Stay with us. ESPN Speed World's live presentation of the TranSouth Financial 400 from Darlington in South Carolina is being brought to you by Daytona USA, the ultimate motorsports attraction. By Team Monte Carlo Chevy, the cars more champions trust. And by Valvoline Durablend, the #1 selling semi-synthetic motor oil. In just one more lap, the cars will get the green flag and will be set for 293 laps of racing. Now, there's the overhead shot of Darlington, and you can see that it's egg-shaped. Our in-car cameras today, and we have several up, and this is the Citgo in-car camera, and the driver, of course, is Michael Waltrip.
Now we see Ricky Rudd's tied forward as he gets ready to go.
Also be riding in the Family Channel Prime Star car driven by Ted Musgrave. Here's the Miller Lite in-car camera, Rusty Wallace at the helm. The Econolodge in-car camera, Hut Strickland behind the wheel of that machine. The Valvoline in-car camera with Mark Martin. And up toward the front of the field, the outside front row starter in the Budweiser car. This is Ricky Craven. We are set to go for the final time. The green is about to fly here on this part of the racetrack. A great crowd is on hand. Beautiful weather. And the TranSouth Financial 400 is underway.
Joseph McQuillan from TranSouth places for the final time on this racetrack in this present configuration.
Leads the race. Here comes Ricky Craven closing in. Craven has never led a lap here at Darlington. Jarrett continues to accumulate number of laps led. He's led more than 50% of all the laps in 1997, and he didn't lead a single lap at Daytona. Three cars have broken away some from the rest of the field. And in third position at the moment is Bobby Labonte. Then quite a bit of racetrack back to the fourth place of Jeff Bodine.
He has Jeff Burton right on his heels and Ernie Irvin right on the heels of Jeff Burton. Jeff Gordon has moved up to 7th on his 10th starting position.
Ted Musgrave picks up a position going to the inside of the 91 car of
Mike Wallace. His Chevrolet as Musgrave goes by.
Here, trying to take the position. Going into turn 3. Jeff Burton backs off.
Burton loses 2 positions.
Now those guys are going to go up and start picking on Jeff Bodine on the QBC car.
Fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh. Caution is out.
And the 43 car of Bobby Hamilton has crashed here in the early going. Car just off of corner number 4 near the entrance to the pit area. But Hamilton has the STP Pontiac running again.
Looks like there's some damage to the left front, Bob.
And he's also flattened the right side.
So it didn't take long for our first caution to come out here. Let's take a look at what caused Hamilton's encounter with the wall.
I don't know. It's hard to tell. The car was sideways. When he tried to correct it, it went back up and banged the wall. But another car in front of him was right down on the apron of the racetrack. So I don't know what might have happened back there.
Looks like he had a couple of encounters with the wall, and you can see there that the left rear tire is shredding as he heads for the pit area.
And boy, that does more damage to the body of the race car too, as you can see on the left rear quarter panel there.
And so that Darlington curse has already struck Bobby Hamilton. How many more cars will it gobble up before the checkered flag falls here at Darlington? Stay with us. We'll be right back with more coverage of the TranSouth Financial 400. It's Jarrett leading at the moment. From high above Darlington Raceway, we greet you again as the TranSouth Financial 400 is under caution. The overhead shots courtesy of the Pennzoil Copter Cam. And at the helm of the copter today is Barney Bates. So we thank you for the overhead shots. Bobby Hamilton rolls down and out of the pit area. That was the reason for the first caution of the day. He hit the wall between turns 3 and 4.
And once again, I have no idea. That's Bobby Hidlin down on the bottom of the racetrack, and we see Hamilton in the wall. John Kernan, you have any ideas what happened?
Well, Benny, I was watching Bobby in the back of the pack coming out of turn 2 right before that incident happened. There was some smoke. He got together with the 77 car, cut down the left rear tire. Hamilton has made 2 stops on pit road. They've changed the 4 tires, and the major problem, other than the sheet metal damage, is the nose. The air dam was pushed down so far that it was dragging the ground, so they've had to lift that back up, and it looks like they're also getting ready to bring Bobby in once again, and yeah, he's in on pit road. They still have a little more work to do on the car. A lot of sheet metal damage, as you see the crew going to work there on the nose area, trying to pull it up so that it does not drag the ground.
So far, he has been able to remain on the lead lap.
And there's some debris, evidently some type of debris on the backstretch, because we have 2 safety trucks over there slowly down the backstretch. That's the reason for the slow caution flag.
Yeah, the concentration of the cleanup is not down in turns 3 and 4 where he hit, but rather it is up in 2 in the backstretch, John.
What it is, it's pieces of the tire as it came apart after the contact that the 43 car made with the 77. And Bob, I mean, it's got the just shards of the tire littered, literally, down the backstretch. So they're wanting to make sure and get all that picked up before they let these cars go back to racing.
Yeah, you can see very clearly that there's a lot of rubber that's been thrown up onto the racetrack. And so this caution will be somewhat lengthy as the track crew is out there picking up little pieces of rubber. So we're 8 laps into this event now, under caution here at Darlington. Back with more in a moment. Not a seat to be had anywhere here at Darlington. A full crowd, and they are enjoying some beautiful weather. It is not warm here by any means, but it's very, very comfortable. It's cooler than it was yesterday when temperatures were up in the upper 70s. Today they expect to peak out in the 60s. But boy, what a great day it is to see some racing here at Darlington. We are still under caution because of Bobby Hamilton's crash up in turns 3 and 4. He shredded the tire, and they're picking up pieces of it. The lead continues to be held by Dale Jarrett, who is the true value man of the race of the Prime Star 500. He is the only driver to complete every lap so far this season. He has 3 consecutive top 3 finishes, including the win. True Value is donating $1,000 to Brenner's Children's Hospital in Winston-Salem. Dale is extremely humble about his accomplishments professionally and personally. There was a great article in USA Today just this past week about Dale Jarrett and his wife and family. He is indeed the true value NASCAR man of the race. And we have 1 more lap to go, and we'll go back to green.
And Ned, Bobby Hamilton didn't lose a lap and all that, did he?
No, he didn't. Still have 43 cars on the lead lap. He made a lot of pit stops, made some adjustments on the STP Pontiac, and banged out the quarter panels and fenders as much as they could. So hopefully he's got it back in shape that he can go racing.
If we were to give you a field rundown right now, you would see it back in 43rd spot, car 43, because the only car that's been in the pits is Bobby Hamilton, and he'll be leaving the back pits in just a moment. They're catching up for the field. There he comes. And we see a lot of bungee cords trying to hold the nose of the car up.
He's been in and out quite a few times during this caution, but he's hustling back to the back of the field. The back of the field right now in the middle of the backstretch, as the front of the field is up in turn number 4. The pace car is already off the racetrack, and Dale Jarrett is set to lead them down and take the green flag once again, with Craven second. Bobby Labonte running in 3rd position. In 4th, we have Jeff Bodine, and Ernie Irvin runs 5th.
And once again, there's no passing on the left side until you get to the start-finish line.
And Craven took a look under Jarrett down in turn 1. He couldn't quite make the pass.
In fact, may have lost a little momentum in turn number 2. He was within a car length of Dale Jarrett. Now he drops back to about 4 car lengths, and Bobby Labonte closes in on Ricky. Streams down the backstretch, and Jarrett leads them down the backstretch once again.
We saw Ricky Craven using a higher line there. He ran that line yesterday in bush competition, in the bush race, and had a good finish. And he tried to get it working in the happy hour yesterday afternoon. So he might have something there. If these tires get heated up, that just might work for you.
NASCAR is always looking for parity among all the manufacturers, and it looks like they have it here today as a Ford leads. Second is a Chevy, and third is a Pontiac. This is the Citgo in-car camera, or actually it's on the right front of the car.
As he looks under Mike Wallace, trying to get alongside his Chevrolet.
Napa Field summary shows you where everyone is running at the moment. The starting positions are in parenthesis. And now here comes Ernie Irvin to the inside of Jeff Bodine and picking up 4th place.
And Jeff Gordon has been stalking both of them to restart. He is in 6th place, started 10th.
You see, Jeff Burton tried to pull out to get by Jeff Gordon, and Gordon said, wait a minute, I just passed you a minute ago. Let me go up here and walk on this 7 car a little bit first, and then if I can't get by, then try to pass me.
Right behind Jeff Burton is Mark Martin. Here's Hut Strickland, the Econo Lodge in-car. He's at the tail end of this group. And Jeff Gordon took a look to the high side that time, out of the corner. And the caution is waiting once again here at Darlington for the second time in only the first 16 laps. I do not see a problem on the racetrack. Jerry, what's going on?
Well, Bob, a moment ago when Bobby Hamilton came by in turn 1 with all those bungee cords on the front of his car, a couple of them flew off and went on the racetrack, and NASCAR watched them. Even though they were down out of the groove, they were concerned when Ernie Irvin made a pass a moment ago down in turn 1 underneath Jeff Bodine. Irvin came very close to one of those bungee cords on the bottom of the track, and NASCAR said, hey, we're not going to take a chance. Some of the crews have complained, thus the caution flag. They'll slow the field down, bring the pace car out, and go pick up those bungee cords on the track in turn 1.
So Hamilton brings out the first caution and the second caution as the bungee cords flew off. And so we are at reduced speed once again. Dale Jarrett continuing to lead the field as the pace car has picked up everybody. No pit stops yet. There's Todd Parrott, Dale's crew chief. We'll be back with more in just a moment. At Darlington, where the caution flag remains out. They're picking up the bungee cords that flew off of Bobby Hamilton's car. The field, as you can see, moving down the backstretch and into turn number 3.
And while we're under the caution flag, while we're under it, there we see Bobby Hamilton's car go down right there. See the bungee cord pull up? I almost got it.
There's another one flying off.
And another one. There's the other one flying up. So that's the reason for the caution flag. They're rubber, but the ends are steel hooks, so that would puncture a tire.
Here's John Kernan.
Well, as the crew works on the right side of the car, pulling out the right rear fender, you notice on the hood where the bungee cords are, look at that strap of blue tape. They put another bungee cord on the hood to pull the nose up, and to keep the bungee cords from flying off because of the vibration out on the racetrack, they've taped them down. So a little bit of inventive thinking down here. They've also brought out a new nose, just in case later on they may decide they may have to cut the old one off and put the new one on.
But he still hasn't lost a lap, has he, Ned?
Nope, still in the lead lap. So we'll have 43 cars still on the lead lap.
Now, Dale Earnhardt made a pit stop over on the backstretch during that caution period. Greg Sachs made a stop here on the front stretch. But as Dale was sitting in the pits, we noticed some damage on the car.
A lot of damage to the front of the Goodrich Chevrolet, the right front. So he's made contact with someone out there, and it looks like it might have broken the front end just above the headlight door, and air is going to be going through there, and that will be slowing the car down. So
Dale's start
right
today,
what we're talking about.
Yep. His 43rd start today tied his career worst. The other time he started 43rd was in Charlotte. 31 races without a win, although his career averages a win in every 8 races. Points position after 4 races this year is 16th. Much worse than last year. Here we go.
Gordon as he tries to go on the outside of Jeff Bodine.
And he has position. It's Bodine. Nobody's there.
Awfully close to that wall coming out of corner 2. Here's the Valvoline camera. Here is Gordon now to the top side of Jeff Bodine and taking away the position.
That was a bold move. Gordon has a good race car.
Finished last at Atlanta because of a rocker arm, I guess, wasn't it, that broke on the car?
A piston pin broke. And we see that Mark Martin lets Hutch Strickland go by.
Mark's one of those guys that knows that you have to race this racetrack, not the other competitors, so if they come up racing him too hard this early in the race, he don't mind moving over and letting him go. Good, smart thinking.
John Kernan can tell us why Earnhardt is showing some body damage already.
Well, Bob, during the incident involving Bobby Hamilton, everybody checked up. Earnhardt got into the back of somebody. I talked to Larry McReynolds, his crew chief. He says, yeah, there is some damage. Some air is getting in there, but they don't know how it's going to affect the handling of the car just yet. They're waiting for input from Dale, but just in case, what they have done is they have put together some straps of duct tape. So the next pit stop, they can put it over that hole and keep the air out from underneath the hood. So
Earnhardt is moving up through the field quickly, and here is Ernie Irvan taking away the, 3rd position from Bobby Labonte.
And Jeff Gordon, you see him coming into the picture there as well, moving up on Bobby Labonte.
It didn't take him long once he got by Jeff Bodine to catch the first 5 cars.
I really believe that Jeff Gordon has the fastest car right now on the racetrack. Now, certainly we saw Earnhardt making those passes back there. He has a lot of traction to come through, but he did put on 4 new tires, and that'll help me. Hey, Sterling Marlin with the problem as Jeff Gordon goes by Bobby Labonte.
So that moves Jeff up to 3rd position now, and it also is a situation where Sterling Marlin is off the pace on the bottom of the racetrack down on the apron and is certainly experiencing problems here in the early going.
We're going to check some speeds at the line and just see which of the cars right now are the fastest. But we have a problem on the racetrack. We see Mike Wallace up against the wall in the Spam Chevrolet. And NASCAR has thrown the caution flag.
Car up against the outside wall coming down the straightaway. Now he goes to the inside, but there is damage to the Spam car. And Mike Wallace brings out the 3rd caution already.
As he goes by here, both right side tires are flat, and he has flattened the right side against the cement wall.
Bubba's running in 28th position when the accident occurred.
It's too bad. He needed a good run and a good finish, and he was confident that he might be able to get that here today.
Here is the replay. Let's see what happened.
Well, we don't see what caused him to get up in the wall. We see him in the wall, and we see that the 75 car gets in the back of the 81, and Greg Sachs in the 20 just about ran in the back of Rick Mast.
He sure did. He had to take quick evasive action to avoid.
Looks like it just went right. Looks like there's some debris or maybe a punctured tire or something.
course, that was his brother, Kenny Wallace, in car number 81 right behind him, so he backed off, and as Benny said, Rick Mast in the 75 didn't get backed off quite as quick. Well, we've got pit stops coming up. They've run 27, finishing 28 laps here right now, so everybody coming down pit road.
Dale Earnhardt may stay out there and he'll lead the race.
Because he stopped not too long ago.
Here's Bill Weber.
Jeff Gordon is on pit road. They will make a track bar adjustment and adjust the air pressure. A lot of drivers complaining their car is a little tight off the turn. The 88 also on pit road. Right sides for Gordon, now around to the left. The 28 also on pit road. 4 tires and fuel for everyone. The fuel is in the DuPont Chevrolet, waiting for the left rear. Now Jeff Gordon's down and away.
You can see Jeff Gordon has a long ways to go. Dale Earnhardt comes out first, and Craven is going to run into his teammate. Almost ready to go. Jeff Gordon will come out second.
Man, that was close. Everyone else coming down. Dale Earnhardt is in his pit on the backstretch, John.
It'll be a 4-tire change for Dale Earnhardt. Right now you see Chocolate Myers and Larry McReynolds out there. Chocolate putting some pop ribbons in. They've got that behind that tape. They've also got a piece of metal to cover that opening to keep the air from getting in. Then you see Larry McReynolds putting on the second piece of tape. Now Chocolate going on with a little bit more to clamp that piece of metal down Earnhardt's way. Let's go to the front stretch, Dr. Jerry Punch.
Well, Sterling Marlin's Kodak Chevrolet sits on pit road, and apparently what we are being told was there was water coming out of the car, spewing on some of the cars behind him. Rusty Wallace complained of getting water on his windshield, so it may be a head gasket or a cracked head. Apparently that may be the problem. It is an engine problem with the Kodak Chevy. Sterling brought the car in, it was running, but obviously overheating. Now they have the hood up as they try to check underneath the hood. Tim Brewer, the crew chief, is there. They're going to try to take maybe one of the valve covers off and take a look, but not a good beginning to Sterling Marlin.
He does lose a lap as the field has come down and the car remains on pit road.
He was coming down pit road when the caution came out. We had talked about him having a problem, and as soon as they heard the caution was coming out, he went on back out on the racetrack and hoped that they could get his problems cured under caution.
Bill Weber is with Mike Wallace.
And it's a very disappointed Mike Wallace and a little bit sore. You took a pretty hard lick, Mike. What happened?
Oh, it hit really hard over there, and it's a shame the spam car was running decent. We were just a little loose, but I don't know. Looking at the left rear quarter panel, it looks like somebody got into us. You know, I knew it got real loose real quick, and then it turned around and hit the wall, and it's a shame. We're going to have a decent day, and it just didn't happen.
You okay?
Yeah, we just hit a ton.
Okay. That's Mike Wallace. Jerry Punch with more on the Marlin situation.
Well, we figured out what happened to Sterling and where the water came from. A moment ago, they raised the hood, trying to think it may be an engine problem, but this was sticking in the radiator. This, what's left of a screwdriver, was sticking all the way through the front of the radiator like someone had thrown a spear through it. This thing put a big hole in the radiator. That's where the water came out, and that's why they're here trying to fix it. And hopefully they did not hurt the motor in the Kodak Chevrolet. Let's go to John Kernan.
Well, Jerry, everybody talks about how teammates are good for you. Well, today we talked about Dale Earnhardt, the damage he had on the front of his Chevrolet Monte Carlo. After someone checked up in front of him, he ran into the back of him. Guess who it was? It was his teammate, Mike Skinner. I just talked to Kevin Hamlin, Skinner's crew chief. He says they just have some slight damage on the left rear of their car, but other than that, their car is okay. So 2 team cars kind of getting together out there. Back to Jerry Punch on the front stretch.
Okay, here's the radiator out of Sterling Marlin's car, and folks, right here is the hole. I'm going to put that screwdriver back in from the back side and show you. In fact, I'll go in from the back side here and show you. That's exactly what happened. There's where it was, right through the radiator, off the racetrack. This screwdriver came out of another car, came up through the front of the radiator of Sterling Marlin's car. The backup radiator going in and trying to get the fan and the shroud hooked up so that Marlin can get back on the racetrack for this caution flag is over. We're under caution here at Darlington Raceway, the 41st running of the TranSouth Financial 400. Back with more green flag action after this.
We'll be going green next time around. Now you can really drive on the information superhighway with NASCAR online at www.nascar.com. Go into the garage area, get the nuts and bolts of the sport. Live chat sessions from drivers and crew chiefs. www.nascar.com. John?
Rick Mast just leaving the pits here on the backstretch. You talked about him getting into someone out there on the racetrack. What that did, the screen cover at the front of his grill was actually knocked out. So what his crew has had to do is take some of that wire mesh, put it over that hole, that opening, and pop rivet it in and also tape it in. And the green flag coming up, Bob, so back to you.
All right, and as Mast catches up with the rest of the field, Bobby Hamilton continues to be on the lead lap. He's catching up. Also, there's Mast going down into turn number 1. Hamilton's a few yards ahead of him. Meanwhile, the rest of the field comes out, and Robert Presley is up front as we get set for green flag racing.
He and Robbie Gordon stopped on lap 17, so they did not stop here during this caution period, so that has them first and second.
Gordon and then Craven.
Well, look at Jeff Gordon. He got a run coming off of there. Jarrett had to back off for Gordon, and Gordon will take over third going into turn 3.
And he may... Well, now here comes Jarrett on the inside, huh?
Well, I'll leave him back off. He won't try that.
With Ricky Craven.
And we see they're going by Robbie Gordon on the outside. That's Gordon on the outside as Jeff Gordon has gone by. Dale Jarrett is on the inside. And Robbie Gordon will wisely back off, let these fellows in. That's a one-groove racetrack over there at speed. And right now, Jeff Burt trying to figure out how he can get by Ricky Craven. Oh, some contact between the 24 and 29.
Gordon hasn't made the pass yet. He'll try to get the run coming off the corner. Oh!
Contact once again.
And here comes Jeff Burton trying to get on the inside. Can't quite make it. Block that move. And here goes Craven. Here goes Burton.
And Gordon up front.
Yes, Jeff makes the pass in corner number 4 and comes down to lead lap number 37. Here at Darlington, and you can see that he's moving high on the racetrack and allowing the fastest competitors to pass by.
Well, he has about 15 more laps on his tires than the others.
Bobby Labonte racing.
Oh, did you see that move that Hutch Strickland put on the outside?
And Ernie Irvin goes by Bobby Labonte there on the outside.
Labonte had to check up, and that allowed Irvin to take over that position.
We can just see what a difference in new tires and tires with just a few laps on what a difference it makes.
Here's another Napa field summary.
Bobby Gordon still on the outside as Bobby Labonte goes by. Now Kenny Schrader comes up on his back bumper, and see Rusty Wallace dives under Martin. Martin takes his spot away.
That's the 12th spot. Rusty takes the 12th position from Martin. Inside the Valvoline Ford with Mark.
And Jeff Gordon's in the wall. Jeff Gordon just hit the wall going into turn 3.
And the driver going for 4 in a row. And there's another crash as Kyle Petty and David Green have come together. So there may be some kind of oil or something up there.
Damn it, Dennis, you gotta tell him what to do to you.
Caution is out.
Heavy damage to the Caterpillar Chevrolet of David Green. And he goes directly to the garage area to start working on the car.
And David's another driver that felt he could have a good run and a good finish here today. He's a good, smooth race driver and knows how to race this track. We can figure out what happened here.
Well, here we see the leader, Jeff Gordon, as he goes in the corner. It's almost like Dale Jarrett last fall. He goes in the corner, and all of a sudden now the car is supposed to turn left, and it just continues going right up in the wall, and we see the contact with the wall. If we'd had radio contact with him, we probably would have said, I'm in the wall.
Doesn't appear as if there's a great deal of damage to the car, though.
Maybe he just got up against the wall.
Yeah, I don't think he hit it too hard, evidently, did, because you see the right side of the car there, maybe just a little bit of a scrape there is on the door.
We see him weaving back and forth. He's trying to figure out, he's trying to figure out what in the world's wrong with the car as you see him weaving back and forth.
And then after Jeff Gordon scraped the wall up in that area of the track, then we had the crash involving Petty and Green.
Well, Kyle Petty spins out, and David Green, he's got all four wheels locked up, cannot get the car stopped, and right in the side of Kyle Petty.
Did you see how Earnhardt, he got by down on the inside? He was almost in that wreck.
But he did get a little bit of damage, apparently, from the incident at the rear of the car. He comes down, and you can see there on the right rear.
Yep.
So he now has damage on the right front and the right rear of the car.
Well, that's what happens here at Darlington. When something happens, somebody checks up, and others. And Jeff Gordon's coming down pit road here right now. He doesn't want to take any chances of staying out there and maybe a fender rubbing a tire a little bit. But boy, that's what we talked about at the top of the show. You can get in trouble so easy here and not even try to. Let's go to the pits and Bill Weber.
Boy, very similar to what happened here last September, only then it was Dale Jarrett. Jeff Gordon has talked to his crew. He thinks something might have been wrong with the right rear tire. They're pulling the sheet metal away from the right front, also working on the right rear. Earnhardt also on pit road. John.
Bill, they've already changed the right side tires. They still have the car up on a jack. The lower portion of the right rear fender was kind of peeled away, so they've had to tape it in place. Let's go back to Bill Weber.
Right side tires for Gordon. They checked the track bar at the front of the car. Now they're going to come around and change the left side tires. Apparently happy that the sheet metal is pulled away from those right side tires. They clean the windshield. This is a 40-second pit stop. Putting the lefts on. Now they patiently wait. Want to make sure everything's all right. They drop the jack and Gordon away 45 seconds flat for Jeff Gordon, but back in the race on the lead lap with fresh tires.
And I think that's smart move. It's too early in the race to be taking chances out there in case there would be a fender against a tire or something like that. And he has a real fast race car, and he's very patient. He can work his way back up here the rest of this race.
When he told on the radio, some of our observers heard him say to Ray Evernham, I just didn't brush the wall, I hit the wall. It was not a slight contact. I hit the wall. So they wanted to make sure that everything was okay.
So the caution remains out. It's been pretty much feast or famine here at Darlington for Jeff Gordon. He has won 3 events here, but in 8 previous races, he's also finished outside the top 20 4 times. The hood's up on Bobby Hillen's car.
And there's somebody inside the car. There's somebody under on both sides of the hood. And the car...
blowing it out of the filters.
Well, we're wondering, and when you mention filter, maybe that he has an oil leak on his car.
He said it's blowing oil out the filters. That's what they, I think, meant to say, what they were saying.
Just fix it. We're already stopped. Come on, fix it. We're stopped. Go, fix it.
Yeah, they've already lost a lap.
It's blowing it out of the filters, Bob.
And it doesn't take much oil out there, especially on this racetrack, to make a big difference in the use you can get tires.
Bring it back in, then tie rags are on those filters.
So Hillen goes out, but apparently will be coming back in. We're taking a break and be back in a moment. We've completed 1 lap under green. Dale Jarrett has the advantage once again and begins to pull away from the rest of the field. Robert Presley is currently in second, and Jeff Burton is third.
Craven fourth, and Hutch Strickland in 5th place. I'm here in 6th. Jeff Ledine, Bobby Labonte, Ken Schrader, and Mark Martin.
And I tell you, I'm impressed with Robert Presley. He's hanging in there in pretty good shape.
Let's take a look once again at this incident up in turn number 3. Kyle Petty and David Green.
And now we see
yeah.
Kyle Petty gets banged by Chad Little in the left rear, which sends him spinning. Chad Little is able to get by. And then,
look at Brett Bodine.
Brett Bodine barely gets by, and David Green has nowhere to go.
And Bill is with David Green.
And the Caterpillar Chevy is a mess right now. You're okay. I know you're disappointed. You had a great qualifying run. What happened in your version, David?
Well, Bill, it's so crowded out there, you know, and I tell you, I'm learning so much each lap I make here, but we went down in that corner and Kyle Petty, that's the first car I saw sideways and just saw a big 44, and I got on the brakes and I guess I forgot we're running about 50 or 60
and Dale Jarrett's in the wall.
And I had to brake to the floor and ran right into Dale Earnhardt.
Problem on the track, guys.
Jarrett's in the wall, so is Robert Presley. He makes one complete spin, now two complete spins, and the car stops at the bottom of the racetrack. Not a funny situation for the Cartoon Network car, and again we have caution for the fifth time in just the first 48 laps, and there's Gary Bradbury.
He stops against the wall.
Well, you talk about Darlington. You are seeing a classic Darlington race here with not only the inexperienced drivers on this track, but the best into the wall. Doyle Ford, who celebrates his 64th birthday on Wednesday, is waving the caution once again. And now the question is, how much damage, if any, was done to Dale Jarrett when he got into the wall up in 3?
I don't think he hit it too hard, Bob, but we'll see.
Same situation as Jeff Gordon.
Yep.
Goes in the corner, and there we see the 29 car spin. And Ricky Craven runs in the back of the 99 car. Here comes Hut Strickland by Craven. I think Jarrett's car looks about like Jeff Gordon's car. I think he's brushed the wall with the tires. He hasn't flattened it like we saw Mike Wallace's car, certainly.
Here once again from the Pennzoil copter cam. We'll take a look at this again. Presley is sideways here. Hut Strickland taking evasive action, and Ernie Irvan bobbling there as he hit the brakes.
Apparently they didn't get all the oil cleaned off up there or something. However, the lap before that, I'd clocked Jarrett at one of the fastest laps that I'd seen here today under the 30-second bracket.
There's the 19 car of Gary Bradbury, who stopped up against the wall. And Jerry Punch has a report.
Well, the report from Dale Jarrett, apparently Dale said the 77 car, when it came out of the pits, it came around the racetrack to come back in, had oil coming out of it, or out those the breathers that they were trying to fix in the Bobby Hillin pit. He said the 77 car oiled the racetrack. They went in there and had nowhere to go. His car slid up and bumped the wall. Now, they were going to make a pit stop, but what Dale Jarrett did, he radioed his crew, and they asked Jeff Burton in the 99 car to pull up and take a look at the right rear. Burton pulled up, looked at it, and told Dale Jarrett by way of his pit crew, I don't think it's going to rub. I believe you can stay on the racetrack. So that indeed is what Dale Jarrett is going to do.
Jeff Gordon, meanwhile, is coming in once again. Bill Weber, he's headed toward you.
He's reported to his crew he feels something dragging on the right rear. They're going to check the toe. They think it may be towed in because Jeff has told Ray Evernham that he cannot get up to full speed because the car is very, very loose, and they think that's a toe-in problem. Now they're pulling the hood pins. They're going to lift the hood on the DuPont Chevrolet. Evernham going down on the right side. They're going to check the toe. Can't see from this side, but I feel certain they've got a string over there. And that's what they've got. Ray talking to Jeff. Now they lower the hood, putting the hood pins back in. Gordon sitting in the car. Evernham checking the right rear tire, talking to his driver. Again, Jeff had said the car is very loose. He can't get up to speed. Pulling the sheet metal away from the right rear, watching for the pace car to come around so they don't lose a lap here on pit road. Plenty of time. Remember earlier, a 45-second stop. Now they drop the jack, and that's 43 and change right there, and Gordon's back on the track.
Well, Jeff's quest for 4 consecutive victories here at Darlington has hit a snag, but he remains on the lead lap. And the caution remains out. Now the signal is given. What for to green?
And Bob, I haven't seen anyone go out on the track, the safety crew, while they're down on the bottom of the racetrack coming around there, but I haven't seen them put anything up in the groove as far as to trying to, if there is oil up there.
Robert Presley, one of those involved in the incident up in turns 3 and 4. John Kernan has more.
No damage, significant damage to Robert Presley's Cartoon Network Chevrolet. It was in, they changed 4 tires. It looked like he just scraped the right rear fender just a little bit. I talked to Bill Engel. He said, hey, the car is okay. It's just they've lost a lot of track position.
And that's exactly what they were trying to do, is get track position. And there they lost all their track position. That truck better get off the racetrack. I don't think he wants to be out there with these cars going around.
They will not go green this time, as is being waved off. Jerry's with Todd Perrin.
Well, Todd, they waved off the green flag this time, so you got a moment to talk. How bad is the car hurt? Do you have any idea?
He said everything feels okay, and Jeff pulled up there, Burton, and said everything looked all right. Just got a little sheet metal damage. We'll see. He's talking to me right now.
Okay, they're talking to Dale Jarrett. They're going to risk it and stay out. Meanwhile, let's check in and see what the Ray Evernham situation, what Ray has to say about Jeff Gordon.
Ray, how's your car?
We don't know until we get going here. Just got a little bit, it's a little bit shook up right now, but we'll get it back. It'll be all right. Just take us a few more laps to settle down. It's not damaged bad. We're just going to have to adjust on it a little bit more.
How's the toe?
The toe looks perfect to me. You know, we're just, when you're at the back, you know, it's best to keep coming in and checking things out. And this will give us a chance to work on it. We've been in this position before, so you just have to wait. There's plenty of time left. In Darlington, you'll get plenty of shots to make adjustments.
Was he dragging the crush panel? Is that what that was in the right rear?
No, when it hit the wall, it actually crushed the side in and knocked the rocker panel lower to the ground. And that car runs so soft, there's a close clearance there anyway, and it started to drag a little bit. So I want to say hi to Rick and Linda and everybody watching home. It's a long day. We'll be all right.
Okay, he's still confident.
The rocker panel, they knocked it down, as you said. As he goes to the corner, as that right side goes down, the body was dragging the racetrack. So they just knocked that back up so Jeff Gordon will not hear and feel that drag.
Guys, Lake Speed has taken his car to the garage area. Don't know what the problem was, but he is out of the race at the moment.
The 24 car took a gamble at Richmond when he was in the points lead, even lost a couple of laps. I think, did he lose 2 laps and came back in that event? Well, anyway, he took a chance and he made it up, and it paid off for him. So Dale Jarrett is now staying out there, and maybe it'll pay off for him. Now we're getting the signal once again that next time around they'll go back to green. Sterling Marlin, as you can see, is not on the lead lap. He has lost 7 laps because of his radiator problem. As we give you a Napa field summary, Burton, Strickland, Craven, Irvin, the top 5. Jeff Bodine, Bobby Labonte, Schrader, Martin, and Wallace are the top 10. Then Ward Burton, Terry Labonte, Morgan Shepherd, Bill Elliott, and Jimmy Spencer.
And 16 through 30, see Ricky Rudd leads that group. Earnhardt's worked his way up to 29th. Phil Parsons in the Bell South car is in 30th.
All those cars on the lead lap. As a matter of fact, there are still 36 cars on the lead lap.
Now you see there beside Bradbury and Petty and Green the notification they are off. That means they are off the track, but they are not officially out of the race. Mike Wallace is the only car that has been declared officially out of competition. Down to John Kernan.
Kyle Petty's behind the wall. Of course, he was in that accident earlier, and he had a really bad vibration when they went back out there. So Kyle is in, and the guys are, it looks like they're changing the drive shaft. Back to you, Bob.
And the green flag waves. We're back out.
Well, Dale Jarrett will know in a moment or so here how much damage was done to that Ford, if it's going to bother him at all or not. Here's Sterling Marlin trying to get one of his laps back.
He's now 6 laps down. And Burton and Hut Strickland both closing out on Jarrett.
Almost some contact there. Jarrett is he's got his hands full right now with that car, Ned.
Yeah, I don't know if there's anything wrong with it or not, or it's just a position that's got him coming off of that turn. But it looks like that there is something wrong with the car. Here are others coming by.
When it came off the corner.
He'd just like to get him a spot there to run without having to race somebody here for a few laps and get the feel of it.
Teammate Ernie Irvin passes by as we look back from Ricky Craven's car. He's running 3rd.
And Johnny Benson, just at the very end of the screen, we saw him coming to the screen, folks. He has passed the cars on the outside at Darlington. It has been unbelievable to watch him pass the cars this time. We'll get a chance to see him do that because he's working his way towards the front.
Bobby Labonte down below Jeff Bodine trying to pick up that position. And a whole gaggle of cars right behind Jeff Bodine.
Morgan carry the body in turns 3 and 4.
Hut Strickland has moved to second position.
Ernie Irvin is on the outside of Ricky Craven, but he wisely backs off and tries to go on the inside.
Oh, 88 backed out of it, but he's coming back now. He's thinking the same thing.
Again, caution is out, and apparently Dale Jarrett was complaining about there being oil on the racetrack, and also Jeff Burton was complaining about some slick spots out there. So NASCAR says good enough, we'll slow the cars down and we'll check it out because we don't want any more drivers into the wall. We've seen quite a few of them there today. We'll be right back. It's the TranSouth Financial 400 NASCAR Winston Cup race from Darlington, South Carolina. The caution flag is out again for the 6th time. The NHL on ESPN tonight at 8 o'clock. The Avalanche and the Flyers. Avalanche led by Peter Forsberg, and Eric Lindros may not play because he suffered an injury last night. But tune in at 8 o'clock tonight, and you can see the Avalanche and the Flyers. Lindros is going to put on the skates and see if it bothers the injury. If it doesn't, he'll be on the ice. Still under caution, and they are putting down some oil dry up in turns number 3 and 4 after some drivers complained that there was oil up there in that area.
Well, we'd had 2 accidents up there between turns 3 and 4, drivers getting into the wall, and they really had not put any quick dry up there, but then drivers complained that there was still some oil up there, so we're getting that now.
We appreciate the overhead shots by the Pennzoil copter cam. You know, one of the first drag racers to use Pennzoil in his dragster was Big Daddy Don Garlits. Pennzoil, of course, has been associated with motorsports for many, many years in all forms of racing, furnishing us with the copter cam shots high over the racetrack. They're with us for all of our NASCAR Winston Cup telecast this year.
Kyle Petty trying to get back on the racetrack, and that's going to be an uncomfortable ride with all that air going inside the car.
Of course, he's the car owner, so
a little better. Pull it out forward.
Looks like he's got some bungee cords working.
Right, a little bit more.
He sure does.
Still got a bit of vibration.
Well, Benny, there's Johnny Benson that you were talking about, and he's been pretty impressive, huh?
He started in 36th spot. He's currently running in 13th. And, folks, he's doing it the hard way. He's passed it on the outside.
And that is tough to do. It's tough to pass anywhere on this racetrack. If you do it on the outside, that is something.
Remember, what was it, 1991 that Michael Waltrip ran so well here in that car. Almost won the race in that car. Looks like we're ready to go green flag, and the 4 car has 4 fresh tires, so I would guess that he's going to...
Great!
Jeff Burton, Hut Strickland tries to take it from the inside.
And 99 car's been running a high growth signal since the race started. Just about a car higher than anybody else.
Well, Hut Strickland really makes up some ground going in that corner.
Sterling Marlin just pulled away from her with those new tires on.
Strickland takes the lead. Now here comes Ricky Craven.
Race to the racetrack. Be smooth.
Strickland finished second here in the Mountain Dew Southern 500 last September. He led many laps, and he's up front today.
He had a great race car last September, and apparently has a good race car here today. Plus, Daddy came in here with a world of confidence, knowing that he could get around this racetrack, and that means a lot. Jeff Ledine making a move on Dale Jarrett, taking number 6.
Craven tries to go to the inside of Hutt. Has to back off. Lodge in car, looking back from the leader to second place Craven.
And right right behind these two. Ernie Irvin has closed up right on the back bumper. There we see him. And here goes Craven on the inside trying to get position.
Full car.
Back up real close, and here comes Irvin down on the inside. Craven going to turn 3 to get that position. But does he slide up and Craven drive back that tree? No.
Irvin has now gone to second position. Shepard has just passed Rusty Wallace, and Shepard has entered the top 10.
Boy, he had a great run at Atlanta. Trying to continue that here. He likes this racetrack. He says it's his favorite racetrack.
That's the Miller Lite in car from Rusty Wallace. Camera mounted on the right front. There's Johnny Benson, and he made another outside pass.
Unbelievable. This time he drug the 5-car, Terry Labonte, along with him. He's running at high groove down in 1 and 2, and he gets a run off the corner. It's unbelievable. Here's a battle for the lead.
Ernie Irvin has the lead in turn 1.
Be smooth.
Great 4-car battle here. Jeff Burton to the inside of Craven.
Load you need it.
Looks like everybody wants to do. Driver to win this final race at Darlington before they flip-flop the straightaways.
It's Kyle Petty running slowly at the bottom of the race.
Digging, buddy. Come on. Keep digging. Keep digging. Keep digging. He's right there. He's still there. Still there.
Look at him.
Clear.
Side by side into turn 3, and Jeff Burton makes a great run all the way from 4th to 2nd.
This is great stuff. I don't think I've seen this many lead changes this early in a long time here at Darlington.
Strickland had his hands full when he came off 4 that time. Car got a little bit loose. Will get even looser. That 99 car continues right on that tailgate. And here the 99 car, Burton.
Right on your quarter. He fell in line. He fell in line.
That's that Strickland spotter.
Behind the 99. Clear behind 99.
22nd. Jeff Gordon has moved up to 22nd. He's on the move back in the pack.
There he is, Jeff, to the inside of Chad Little, right ahead of Jeremy Mayfield. And coming along behind him.
Ricky Rudd decided to back off, that he could not get alongside Chad Little before they got to the corner, so he wisely backed off.
Bill has more on Ricky Rudd.
Well, Ricky's not felt well all weekend. They had Elton Sawyer in the car earlier this weekend practicing the car, and next caution flag, Ricky Rudd will climb out of that car, and Elton Sawyer will climb into the tied Ford. Ricky wanted to go the whole distance today, but the flu's got him, so it'll be Elton Sawyer for Ricky Rudd. He hopes to make it to the next caution flag.
Rudd is currently in 22nd spot. Little to the inside of Mayfield, taking away that position.
Jimmy Spencer on the inside of Bill Elliott, and he's got Michael Norfolk trying to follow. Michael gave Bill Elliott a break, backed off, let him continue on in the corner.
This is the Citgo onboard camera as Michael now falls in behind Bill.
Second spot. Here goes Ernie taking it away from Hutt.
Jeff Burton is the leader of the race, then Irvin, then Strickland, and Ricky Craven. Completing the top 5, Jeff Burton. 75 laps now completed. This is a 293 lap race, 400 miles. Things have settled down somewhat now as Burton continues to lead the way, and everybody behind him in pretty much single file formation. Jeff Gordon is still trying to weave his way through the field. There he is to the inside of Bill Elliott as Michael Waltrip tries to get his car in position, in that position also. And likewise passes Bill Elliott in turn number 4. And coming ahead is Ted Musgrave. Jeff Burton showing the way, and Ernie Irvan second, followed by Strickland, Craven, and Bodine. We'll be right back. Back at Darlington, and Jeff Burton slowed there momentarily and allowed Ernie Irvan to go to the lead. I thought there was something seriously wrong with the car, but he's okay now, it looks like.
Yeah, I think he was running a little bit harder maybe than he wanted to out there, Bob, and Ernie was coming up on him, so he just decided to move over and let him go. Right behind him there for a little while.
And Jeff Bodine and Ricky Craven are now battling for the 4th position.
And Craven is looks like he's slowing just a little bit. Jeff Bodine closes up, and here comes Dale Jarrett closes up on the back of Jeff Bodine. That's Ricky Craven 25, Jeff Bodine in the 7, Dale Jarrett in the 88.
Benny, this is the longest that they've run on tires, the longest green flag run they've had on tires here today, and it's beginning to show up now who has the better chassis on long runs. Ernie Irvan right now has an awfully good chassis.
I would guess right now that Jeff Gordon is the fastest car on the racetrack. He has fresher tires than these cars he's passing. He stopped on the last caution flag, but he has marched through this field. And this is Morgan Shepherd, who's currently in 10th spot. And Gordon pulls up trying to take over that spot. He started almost last, and he's trying to take over 10th, and does down in turn 1.
That car is fast. It was fast before he hit the wall, and I don't believe it's taking too much off it.
We'll see how quickly he catches up to Mark Martin from the Valvoline onboard camera. And you see he'll do it in the corners. That's where the grip means the most for these tires. Boy, look at him come up. Unbelievable.
And now on the straightaway, he has such a run off the straightaway that Mark Martin just lets him go by.
That was very impressive. Okay, Jerry, what happened to Jeff Burton, if anything?
Well, Ned Jarrett must be a mind reader. Ned, that's exactly what Buddy Parrott told Jeff Burton. He said, if the 28 wants to lead, let him go. We're not going to run our tires under the ground and tear up our race car trying to stay with him. Get back behind him and follow him. Now, the problem is that both the 99 car of Burton and the 28 of Ernie Irvan have complained that there is water on their windshield coming out of the 4 car. They're saying the 4 car is leaking something, and neither one of them want to be very close to that car if, or possibly when, it lets go.
The 4 car is running quite a ways ahead of both Ernie Irvan and Jeff Burton. Let's check the speeds now at the line as Irvan comes off of corner number 4.
Remember, these cars qualified about 171 miles an hour. We'll see.
Strickland as they started into the turn, as Craven trying to make the pass, trying to take over and get on turn 2, but that won't work. Jeff Gordon all the way up to 7th.
Craven lost a great deal of distance as he had to get off the throttle because he and the 8 car got awfully close together.
And Jeff Gordon, his tires are 31 laps fresher than watch him go on the inside of Dale Jarrett, taking over 6th. And if this thing goes green for a while, that's going to be a tremendous advantage for Jeff Gordon. If they have to start under green flag conditions, he'll have 30 more laps to try to catch a caution before he would have to come in.
Here's an NASCAR serial presented by MCI. Jeff Gordon sets the restart. He was 29th on lap 63. Look at his nice, steady movement through the field. And on lap number 85, he now in 6th position. John Kernan. Sorry, Bill Weber.
Bob, he's coming through the field based on a pit stop that gave him 4 fresh tires and a track bar adjustment. Once he got into the top 10, Ray Abraham told him, you're doing good. Now start saving your tires. Jeff has told his crew he's loose when he's by himself on the racetrack, but he's okay when he's running with other cars. Their bad luck may turn into good luck. This thing stays green for quite a while.
Wow, he just moved into 5th spot, passing Jeff Bodine, and now he's looking up to 4th place, Ricky Craven.
That is a tremendous drive coming from where he was, even with fresh tires.
And you ask Ray Evernham, how come the car, the DuPont Chevy, has been so successful at this racetrack as he goes by Ricky Craven to take over that spot? You'll ask him why he's been successful, so successful. He gives a lot of credit to the driver, Jeff Gordon, about how he knows how to get around this old tough racetrack.
Jeff Gordon
inside, fresh rubber, clear behind the 24. 24 clear.
Just a little bit faster than the leader.
Now he is in 3rd. He is 5 seconds behind Ernie Irvin.
So Jeff Gordon, who has led 34% of the laps run here in the last 2 years, isn't up yet, but he is up to 3rd position. There are the top 2, Ernie Irvin on the left and Jeff Burton on the right. 90 laps completed here at Darlington, as the sellout crowd is still on its feet watching the competition here. They're the top 5. We'll take a break and be right back with more of the TranSouth Financial 400. From Darlington, South Carolina, NASCAR Winston Cup Racing here on ESPN, the TranSouth Financial 400. And there on the left of your screen is the 88 car of Dale Jarrett. He is back in 8th position, closely pursued by Bobby Labonte. Up front, it's Ernie Irvin. Jarrett, one of those who has encountered the wall after leading. We have had so far 6 leaders and 9 lead changes. How about Dale Earnhardt? Well, he was doing rather well. He had moved up, I think, maybe to 22nd position. I think that was about the highest I saw. However, he has dropped back now to 30th spot, and he's only about a half a straight away from being lapped. So struggling continues for Dale Earnhardt.
Well, we'll give a call to Jimmy Spencer, who is moving up through the pack. He just took over 10th position. Jimmy started back in 26th position, so he's on the move as we see Jeff Gordon continues to stay with Ernie Irvin.
Ernie Irvin finished 7th here last September in the Mountain Dew Southern 500. There's Earnhardt once again, riding with Jeremy Mayfield up in front, and Bill Parsons driving the 42 car for Joe Nemechek. John has more on Dale Earnhardt, who's running 30th.
Bob, I just talked to Larry McReynolds and asked him what the problem was. He said the car, Dale, it's really tight. It doesn't want to turn in the turn, so he's have to take it very easy. As he enters the turn, he's not able to drive in as deep as he would like. They will try and make some adjustments to try and fix the problem on their next pit stop.
Here's Jeff Bodine making a move on Ricky Craven, trying to take over the 5th position.
And right behind is Tim Schrader. We haven't talked much about Schrader, but he's run a very good race and a very solid race. He goes to the inside of Ricky Craven.
And while all that was going on, Jimmy Spencer picked up another position from Bobby Labonte, took over 9th.
And there's Jimmy Spencer. He is close ahead. He's on the move.
Spencer had a good run here last September. Had a great race car. Had a problem.
Since the restart, Jimmy Spencer has moved from 17th position, that's where he was on lap 63, to 9th. He started 26th.
He closed in right on the back bumper of Ricky Craven.
Craven was right up amongst the leaders not too many laps ago. He's falling back now.
Yeah, he was 5th, and now is 8th.
Spencer up to 8th.
And the 25 is coming into the pits. And so...
Oh, he just about, well, he decided the last moment to do so,
Hut Strickland coming in as well. These would be scheduled pit stops. Let's go to the pits and Jerry Punch.
Ricky Craven radioed to crew and told him he thinks he has a tire going down. Meanwhile, Hut Strickland, Circuit City Ford, comes to rest on pit road as a 25 car. Also, and you see them both on your screen, 25 far in the pit road. The Budweiser crew going to the right side. Craven said he thought he might have a right rear tire going down. Now, meanwhile, back in the Hut Strickland pit, they were going to make an air pressure adjustment. Their car is a little bit loose on going in. Car is down on the way.
Come on out. Pit road, watch your blend line.
The car number 25 still getting service. Left side tires on the Budweiser Chevrolet, and now he is down and away. As pit stops begin here on pit road, expecting Jeff Burton and Ernie Irvin to come in the next couple laps. Meanwhile, Terry Labonte is in front of Bill Weber.
They clean the grill. Terry Labonte has a slight push. He's got 2 right side tires, getting Unical fuel, a fresh drain, getting left side tires, cleaning the windshield, still pressing the front grill to make sure it's clean. Spencer's in, Labonte's away, John Kernan.
Tires are already on, right sides are already on. The crew working on left side tires. Spencer sitting here waiting. A little bit of a problem getting the left rear tire off. Now they get it replaced, and he is down and away. Let's go up to the booth.
Dale Jarrett is in. They're working on the right side of the car. Tire getting away.
Also pulling the quarter panel off the tire. Right side chains, left side round.
Jeff Burton comes in. Tim Schrader going out.
Still working on the left side of Jarrett's car. Now he's down and away. Here's Jerry.
Jeff Burton is a little bit loose. They made a half a round of wedge adjustment in the right rear. They've made an air pressure change. Right side tires have already gone on. Now left side tires going on. Great pit work by Buddy Parent and the X-Side crew. Burton down off the jack and away. And the car number 28, our leader, Ernie Irvin, on pit road, and so is Mark Martin, as they will come down for their first green flag pit stop of the day. Irvin, they planned no adjustments. Mark Reno said the car is perfect. Ernie likes what we did yesterday and this morning. Right side tires going on as Jeff Bodine and Bill Elliott flash by. Now, left side tires going over Texaco, Hamilton, Ford, Thunderbird. Left front lug nuts, left rear. The jack man looking left, looking right. He pulls the jack and he's away. Meanwhile, Rudd is in front of Bill Weber.
Ricky Rudd has right side tires, but has not dropped the window net. They don't want to make this change under green. The points and track position are too important. Putting on the left side tires. Fuel is in, waiting on the left front. Now the tie Ford is down. John Kernan.
Johnny Benson is in a 4-tire change. Left side tires going on. They have made a chassis adjustment on Johnny's car. Finally is down and away. A good stop for Benson and his crew.
And frantic work going on in the pit areas, both here on the front stretch and the back stretch. Johnny Benson rolls off of the back stretch pits. We saw Phil Parsons making a stop.
And Jeff Gordon came in too when Ernie Irvin did. That surprised me. He had tires that were about 30 laps fresher than the others. We mentioned that earlier, but I'm sure that Ray Evernham thought, well, hey, we don't want to leave him out there on old tires when those other guys are going to have fresh tires. So they went ahead and brought him in when they pitted.
With the rest of the leaders. The 31 car is the leader, and the 25 car of Craven Benny may have gotten in the wall.
He's coming back down pit road, and yes, we see some damage to the right side. Jerry Punch.
Just after he left pit road, Benny, apparently he did brush the concrete. Unfortunately, they are now back on pit road. What a tough right for the Budweiser crew. Andy Graves and company, as they will now try to pull some of the sheet metal away from that right rear tire. You don't want to take any chances here and have a tire rubbing at Darlington. This track is treacherous enough to drive with 4 tires that are running freely. Crew now pulling and tugging on the right side of the car. He is down, puts it back in gear, and away.
Tough race for Ricky Craven. And a number of drivers have just unlapped themselves. Hut Strickland, Jeff Bodine, Jimmy Spencer, Dale Jarrett, now Ken Schrader goes around the leader. So they've all gotten back in the lead lap. And the 31 car of Mike Skinner has yet to make a pit stop.
Ricky Craven comes back up to speed in the Budweiser Chevrolet after an encounter with the wall just after making a pit stop. So green flag pit stops have, for the most part, been completed here. After 108 laps at Darlington, the leader is Mike Skinner. We'll be right back. ESPN Speed World coverage of the TranSouth Financial 400 from Darlington, South Carolina is being brought to you by Econo Lodge. Spend a night, not a fortune. By Smooth Busch Beer and Easy Drinking Busch Light. Busch, the official beer of NASCAR. By Firestone and your neighborhood Firestone retailers with over 1,500 locations. And by Briggs & Stratton, your #1 source of power. Make sure all your outdoor power equipment has a Briggs & Stratton engine.
Mike Skinner's having problems getting into the pits. John Kernan?
Well, the crew has been waiting for him the last 2 laps. Mike finally makes it onto pit road. He missed it twice. Not sure why. I just looked at David Smith a few moments ago, and David just said, hey, he missed pit road. Well, he now is finally in his pit, going to work. Remember, this is only his second race here at Darlington. He ran the Jimmy Means car here back about 4 years ago in 1993, so maybe he wasn't familiar enough. I'll try to check with David in a minute. But the left sides are going on now. Mike Skinner guns the engine in his way.
Skinner was the leader until he dropped down off the banking in his first attempt to make a pit stop. That gives up the lead to the number 99 car of Jeff Burton. Running second is Ernie Irvin. Third is Jeff Gordon. Fourth is Jeff Bodine. And Jimmy Spencer is fifth.
Jeff Burton ended up with a pretty doggone good lead after the series of pit stops. He probably has 2 or 3 seconds on Ernie Irvin.
He had a great pit stop. He stopped a lap or 2 before they did, and that, with those fresh tires, helped a little bit. He's about 2.5 seconds ahead of Ernie Irvin right now.
106, almost 163 miles per hour. We see Ernie Irvin a little bit faster than he is, and we'll get the other cars as they go across the line. Jeff Gordon, not quite as fast. And we see how spread out the cars are after the pit stops.
And you can also see how much faster they are on the newer tires.
Yeah, that's a welcome relief to the drivers to get those new tires on, at least for about 15, 20 laps. Then they start slipping and sliding again.
There we see Ernie Irvin as he tries to close in. Well, we've got to go all the way back there to find Jeff Gordon.
And here comes the 23 and the 88 cars, and also the 8 car of Hutch Strickland. That is 5th, 6th, and 7th. They're running about a half a lap behind the leader.
As Jeff Burton came across the start-finish line, they were just going into turn 3.
Close into the back of Kyle Petty and Robbie Gordon, and 23 car looks like he got his car loose getting in the corner, so Dale Jarrett dove underneath, took the spot away. Now Hutch Strickland looking the same.
Back on Jimmy Spencer from Hutch Strickland's Econo Lodge onboard camera. Well, John Kernan, what was the situation there when Mike Skinner, it appeared to us, missed pit road twice?
Well, Bob, I just talked to Kevin Hamlin, his crew chief, and Kevin said, you know, the entry into pit road is very slick down there. You have to come in. Maybe, Benny, you could talk about this. Maybe you've experienced this yourself in the past. He says that you got to come in at just the right speed, apparently, or you're going to slide. And so when Mike came in, he just started sliding, so he had to go back out onto the racetrack. We got a crash coming out of turn number 2, and it looks like it's Dave Marcus.
Dave Marcus hits the wall coming out of turn 2. The car sliding to the inside, making contact with the inside wall. And the caution is waving for the 7th time this afternoon.
Boy, Jeff Burton said, doggone it, I had me a good lead. I had anybody breathing down my neck. Now they're all back there just chewing and gnawing again.
22 cars on the lead lap.
Left field. His left rear tire was out of Dave Marcus' car.
Yep. So this comes just after a series of pit stops, but it is going to close up the field considerably for the restart. We'll be back in a moment at Darlington. From Darlington Raceway in South Carolina, we welcome you back to our live coverage of the TranSouth Financial 400, the 5th race of the year for the NASCAR Winston Cup cars. We're still under caution. Rusty Wallace just leaving, Jerry.
Well, Rusty Wallace exiting pit road. Meanwhile, while we were in break, some tempers flaring down here in the pits. During the pit stops a moment ago when the 99 car and 28 car were pitting nose to tail, Jeff Burton's crew had trouble with the left rear tire. Now, the word was that there may have been a problem with the 28 car pitting too close, or maybe even the fact that a tire rolled from the 28 car, which hampered the pit stop on the 99. Buddy Parrott, the crew chief for Jeff Burton, had some words with some of the guys in the 28 crew. They began grabbing some shirts and began shoving, but they have been separated now, and hopefully cooler heads will prevail. That's how intense it is here at Darlington. Meanwhile, Ricky Rudd gets a driver changes. Elton Sawyer will climb in that car.
The car and the Tide Ford pulls away. They use 2 pit stops to get it done. Ricky Rudd has climbed out of the car feeling the effects of the flu, still has his helmet on, talking to his wife Linda. Now the visor up. Ricky's going to get him some fluids, and Elton Sawyer will finish the duties in the rest of this race. We'll dive in here in just a second as Ricky pulls off his helmet. I know you're not feeling well. How are you feeling?
Well, not too bad, but it's one of those deals. The race car was driving me today. You know, I've been kind of on my back with a flu bug here all week, and had a good chance to put Elton in here. Elton can do a real good job for us today. I'm only about 50% today.
Okay, that's Ricky Rudd. He's out. Elton Sawyer in for the rest of the day in the Tide Ford.
Well, he's one of those cars still in the lead lap, so he's got a chance for a good finishing position here.
There's Robin Pemberton from Rusty Wallace's crew talking to one of the NASCAR officials down on pit road. So, and as we documented, tempers were getting a little out of hand down there in the pit area.
Well, here's Ken Schrader's crew. Well, they're pitting right side by side, so maybe it was a similar situation to what Jerry was explaining there between Jeff Burton and Ernie Irvin's teams.
We are under caution because of an accident that happened out of turn 2 involving Dave Marcus.
Yeah, he's been running awfully high up in the racetrack. It looks like he might have just gotten a little bit too high or got into some loose stuff up on the high side and spun as it came off the corner.
Roof flaps deploy.
And I don't believe he hit the inside wall. I think he stopped before he got there.
Well, so that smoke come up there. Dust there. Might have got it just a little bit, but I don't think it did a lot of damage to him.
But Marcus has lost a couple of laps, but he is still in competition. Before we go green, we'll take another break and be right back with more from Darlington. Darlington, don't you just love those promos? Old Pepper was having quite a day, wasn't he?
He was having quite a day.
Here we go, green out again. Burton is the leader. Jeff Gordon is second.
And there's Jeff Bodine is third. Couple of lap cars. Craven between first and second. There goes Craven diving to the inside.
Get one of his laps back.
He is 2 laps down. Well, now he's only 1 lap back at the moment.
When the 99 car made a pit stop, Gary McClure from the 28 crew came over and picked up the 99's right rear tire to roll it off the pit road so the 28 car would be able to leave pit road as the 99 car makes a move past Craven. So that was where the rolling of the tire came in. Gary McClure rolled the 99's right rear tire out of their way so they could leave the pits. Well, when he rolled the tire, it apparently came close to Rambo. Tony Liberati, the left rear tire changer, which slowed him down. He didn't like that. He told Buddy Parrott. Parrott went to McClure, and a friendly exchange got ugly.
And there was a similar situation, as we documented, between Rusty Wallace's crew and Ken Schrader's. Hopefully everybody is friends down there once again. Craven being passed now by several cars. Ernie Irvin, Dale Jarrett moving to the inside, and Craven is once again 2 laps down.
I wonder if he might have brushed the wall coming off second corner. He got awfully high coming off the corner and is slow. But no tires rubbing, and he is running, I guess, fast enough to think that maybe he did not hit the wall.
Ricky Craven in 34th position, 2 laps down.
You see Mark Marlin. And here comes Sterling Marlin. There was a
near wreck right there coming off the turn 2. And those cars all got slowed down and separated out and didn't have a wreck. Good.
99
Musgrave leads that Schrader, Elliott, Bobby Labonte.
As you can see from the scoring card, he is 8th on back.
Bobby Labonte missed the setup today, Ned, because in practice his car was very, very fast.
Yes, it was, and that surprises me. I thought he would be very, very good today. A lot of others in the garage area thought he would be good, too. He's still hanging in there. Of course, he's in the lead lap, currently being shown in 12th place, but I thought he would be one of the ones to beat. And he might be later in the race.
A little bit ago, we were talking about on the near crash. You see Dale Earnhardt riding around the racetrack. We're going to take you back a couple laps ago and show you what happened. Here's Earnhardt, and watch as he comes off the corner. There we see Michael Waltrip go up and run in the back of the 3 car. Now Michael jumped off the gas, which caused all the cars behind him to jump off the gas.
But they did avoid a big wreck there.
Thank goodness.
Burton continues to lead. His best finish here at Darlington came in the Mountain Dew Southern 500 in 1994. He was 8th. And apparently some of the drivers are again reporting that there is oil on the speedway.
There's Ray Evernham. He's talking to the NASCAR official. Caution flag, caution.
And they took Ray's advice, perhaps, and caution flag to go out and once again check the track for oil.
Well, Bobby Hillin is back on the racetrack in the 77 car. He's 70 laps down, but he goes back on the racetrack. So evidently, he is pumping some oil on the racetrack. Jerry Punch?
Benny, you're exactly right, and that's what the drivers were screaming about. Jeff Burton literally said there's oil all over the racetrack. He told the other drivers he was trying to wave, and NASCAR responded very quickly to put the caution flag. At least 3 drivers down here, including Burton, had complained, and the NASCAR official ran up to their pits there, talked to the crew, and said, we'll get the flag out, and we'll get it cleaned up.
There's Buddy Parrott, the crew chief for the 99 car, Jeff Burton. Doyle Ford says, come on, guys, catch up so we can get the trucks out there as quickly as possible and start getting the oil dry down to soak up the oil on the surface.
It's our 8th caution period of the day. 39 of the first 134 laps have been under caution, and we go back under that condition once again.
Now, we see a situation, Robert Presley was hoping to run up there and get his lap back as the leaders had slowed down, and he ran up on Jeff Bodine. I don't think Jeff knew he was there, touched him a little bit, went on by, but he did not catch the leader, Jeff Burton, before they got back to the start-finish line.
So the 29 car stays a lap down. And here is the onboard camera of Michael Waltrip when he got into the back of Dale Earnhardt. Rusty Wallace has come in, also Mark Martin, Sterling Marlin, all pitting here on the front stretch, Bill Weber.
Rusty's got him a couple of right side tires, extra man over the wall to clean the windshield, plenty of fuel in the Miller Lite Ford, putting on the left side tires, so Rusty's got himself fresh rubber and plenty of fuel, heads back out on the track.
And Mark Martin, likewise, he goes back on the track. The 4 car of Sterling Marlin once again comes in.
Bobby Hillin has once again gone into the pits, and there is some oil on the back of that car. So the track crew is out there with their brooms and their trucks and their oil dry, and they'll get the racetrack back in racing condition before too long. Stay with us. Welcome back to our live coverage of the TranSouth Financial 400 from Darlington Raceway. ESPN News brings you highlights, news, notes, and will take you live to late-breaking news as well as live press conferences 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. ESPN News. If you don't already have it, call your local cable provider and ask them to carry ESPN News. Well, as the crowd looks on and waves to us, we will take a look at a Napa Field summary. The drivers that are running in the top 15 include Burton, Gordon, Jeff Bodine, Irvin, Jarrett, Strickland, Musgrave, Spencer, Schrader, and Elliott in the top 10. Then Bobby Labonte, Morgan Shepherd, Michael Waltrip, Terry Labonte, and Darrell Waltrip.
16 through 30, Kenny Wallace, Ricky Rudd, with Elton Sawyer in the car now, Mark Martin, Rusty Wallace, Johnny Benson, Chad Little, Rick Mast, all the cars in the lead lap. Then it's Presley, Cope, Sachs, Andretti, Parsons, Earnhardt, Burton, and Gordon a lap down.
And those 31st through 43rd, Brett Bodine, Mike Skinner, Mayfield, Craven, Hamilton, Marcus, Marlin, Petty, Speed, Dillon, Bradbury, and
David Green and Mike Wallace.
Right.
Bradbury and Green are off the racetrack working on their cars. There are officially 2 cars out of competition. We'll be right back. The 2x2 formation is forming as the field gets ready for a restart here in the TranSouth Financial 400.
Rusty's flexing that wrist. He's getting ready to shift. He's getting ready to steer and try his best to work his way towards Jeff Burton, the leader, as they take the green flag.
Jeff Burton has been up and down since North Wilkesboro last year. Beginning at North Wilkesboro, every other race he has an average finish of 5.2. In the other races, he's averaged a 24th place finish. And right now, he has lost the lead to Jeff Gordon.
Gordon got a run on him, but here comes Jeff back. He's going to do it. 2 Jeffs racing there, but the Gordon one is going to win that battle.
Jeff Burton's finishes this year 11th at Daytona, 3rd at Rockingham, 42nd at Richmond, and 5th at Atlanta. Whoa, somebody's up high. Who was it?
That's Derek Cope, I believe.
Just about got in the fence. If he didn't,
the Skittles car.
He sure raised some dust if he didn't hit the wall.
Derek is 1 lap down, being shown in 24th position.
Here's Hut Strickland trying to get beneath him. Also Ted Musgrave.
Musgrave has quietly had a good run here today. Being shown in 7th position.
See by our onboard cameras that the glare is beginning to become a problem and will get worse as the afternoon rolls along.
And it happens as the cars go down in turns 1 and 2. Right now the visibility is pretty good because the car, Ted Musgrave, is in 3 and 4. He's actually 4 down the front stretch. And we'll see as he continues down the front stretch that the visibility gets worse and worse as he turns in. About right there is when it gets the worst. Yep.
Ted Musgrave, by the way, tested here, and during the test, he scraped the wall, as is not so uncommon. He was 3rd quick among the testers who were here prior to the race. We're nearing the halfway point. The halfway point is 147. This will complete 144. 3 laps from halfway. Here's a Radio Shack field summary. Jeff Gordon started this race 10th, currently the leader. Dale Jarrett is the driver eligible for the Unocal bonus money of $38,000. And as you saw, he's running in 5th position. Darrell Waltrip started 41st, is up in the top 20 at 19.
There's our 8th place car, Jimmy Spencer. As he closes in on the back number of Bill Earnhardt. Earnhardt in the 3 car is, in fact, a lap down now.
6th position.
It's Greg Sachs that everybody's passing by. Corey Spencer doing so.
Greg Sachs is a lap down also, Bob, in 25th position.
There is Ken Schrader, who's running in 9th spot. He's been up in the top 10 just about all fine job in this Cole Bandit.
So there's 9th, 10th, and 11th. There's Morgan Shepherd trying to go something. Bobby Labonte can't quite make it. Labonte just moves over, tells Morgan Shepherd to go ahead.
Ken Schrader has been as high as 5th on the 101st lap, and he's been as low as 16th on the 105th. He's currently 9th.
And once again, Morgan Shepherd in Atlanta is a pretty doggone good race car. It's on the inside of Schrader trying to take over that spot. That would be 9th if he can pull off the pass.
In all of 1996, Morgan Shepherd had just one top 5. That was at the Brickyard in Indianapolis. Already has a top 5 and 2 top 10s in 1997. Of course, he switched teams over the winter.
And they're looking for a major sponsor on that car. He says, if we can get a sponsor, we can hire a few more people and really show the world what we can do. He's very high on the Jackson race team.
And looks like he just can't get that grip off the corner. Schrader High gets great grip, and we saw how well that Bobby Labonte got off that corner. Closed up right on the back bumper, Morgan, but not able to get by.
Labonte learned well from his brother Terry that to race this racetrack you have to have a lot of patience. Sometimes you see a hole open up, and sometimes it's not best to try to close that hole.
Back with the Econo Lodge onboard camera. This is Hutch Strickland's car as he looks back at Ted Musgrave. This is the battle for 6th and 7th.
From Musgrave's onboard camera, we'll look ahead to Hut.
And you see up ahead there that Ernie Irvin just got by Jeff Bodine going down into turn 3.
Inside looking.
And Jeff Burton took over the lead from Jeff Gordon.
Thing okay?
And there we see Musgrave go by.
Yeah, just got loose really bad.
Jeff Gordon is back in the lead, as you see there on the left side of your screen, coming around off the 4th corner. He's taking the lead away from Jeff Gordon.
Was 7 car lengths behind the 24 car. Jeff radioed to Buddy Parrish, hey buddy, how hard can I run? Buddy said, okay, if you want to, go up there and get that 24 passing, it'll make you happy. And that's what he did in 2 laps.
He sure did. At the same time, Ernie Irvin comes to 3rd.
Passing Jeff Bodine.
He closes in on Jeff Gordon and makes it a 3-car battle for the lead. David Green, by the way, is going back on the racetrack. He's been back behind. Oh, look out. Bumper tag all around there, almost an accordion, huh?
I mean, Gordon gets in the back of Irvin gets in the back of Gordon, and meanwhile, Jeff Bodine and Dale Jarrett.
Could something have happened to Jeff Gordon in exchange? Or is he just simply getting out of the battle?
Ooh, this is going to get tight going into turn 3 here. Let's see who's going to lift. Is it going to be Jeff Bodine or Jeff Burton? I mean, Jeff Gordon. Yeah. Too many Jeffs out there.
There's Dale Jarrett going by, taking the spot away from the 7 car of Bodine. Puts him in the 4th spot.
Well, Bodine had to back off when he was there beside of Jeff Gordon coming off the turn, so that carries the lead on him.
And here comes the 16 car of Musgrave trying to get by.
Boy, look at how this accordion squeezed together here in turn 3.
Ever see Gordon hit the 99, the 28 hit the 24, and knock you back into the 99?
Wow. I'll tell you, we were fortunate it was not a wreck. Here goes Ernie.
Yep.
That's the lead.
Ernie Irvin takes the lead. 7 leaders so far. 13 lead changes.
You see the 96 car on the apron of the racetrack. David Green back out trying to make some laps.
Bill has more on the 16 car of Ted Musgrave, who's now 6th.
Bob Ted's charging to the front. He got saved by that last caution. He has a cut in this tire. This is the right rear tire that just took off the Family Channel Prime Star Ford. A cut very similar to what we saw on one of Mark Martin's tires yesterday in the Busch race. This tire was going down, but the caution saved him. Ted got 4 fresh tires, and now he's charging to the front. He also got a big benefit from running in the Busch race yesterday in Doug Taylor's car. Taylor allowed the Roush guys to change shocks on that car to try and get their car set up for today. They said they learned a lot yesterday, and they plan on using it and capitalizing on it today.
That's very good. Never see Mark Martin going by Johnny Benson.
Now remember, Mark Martin made a pit stop during that last caution, so he has a little fresher tires on, so that makes his Valvoline Ford feel good.
Mark Martin moves to 13th position, and Johnny Benson drop backs to 14th. 157 laps completed here at Darlington. Ernie Irvan is your leader. There's the leader of the TranSouth Financial 400, Ernie Irvan, at the completion of 161 laps. And he has pulled away from the second place car, now driven by Dale Jarrett. And we got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 here running real close together, and a couple of lap cars in there too.
Pretty excited just a couple of laps ago when Jarrett went by Irvan and Jeff Gordon at the same time.
Look, we have a car spinning. Hard contact into the backstretch inside wall. Ricky Craven and Robert Presley are in.
This time the car's behind Ricky. It's slow.
Rusty Wallace had to take evasive action there. He was headed right for the very badly damaged car of Presley.
Yes, there's heavy damage to both sides of the door. Ford once again waves a caution.
Well, the window net is down, so that's a good sign.
Yes. Yeah, we're talking. There we see Ricky Craven. He's trying to start his car.
Once again, one of Ricky's cars has some very bad damage to it. Here it is again from our camera in turn 2.
And Presley, it looked like the back end just got out from under him, and Craven had committed to go down to the inside of him, and both of them just carried right into the inside wall.
It's like Craven was a victim of circumstances there, just was in the wrong place at the wrong time. And Presley limps as he gets out of the car, is helped by a NASCAR official. And the 29 car now has an engine fire.
Oh my goodness gracious.
There the firemen get there.
Here's Bill Weber in Gordon's pit.
With Jeff Gordon and the DuPont Monte Carlo here, Jeff has told his crew he can't stand to be out in front right now. He needs to be behind somebody because the track has gotten loose, either because of oil on the track or because of the weather. He's going to get 4 tires and fuel. Jerry Punch.
Slight air pressure change for Ernie Irvan, complaining the car was a little bit tight. They may be going back to where they were a little bit ago. The 99 car, that car is loose. They have right side tires, left side tires. They race down pit road side by side. As Jerry is out, the 28, 99, as they all head back to turn 1.
Jarrett out first. Irvan came out second. Burton and Gordon. As Bobby Labonte comes out, here's John Kernan as the backstretch pits get busy.
Jimmy Spencer getting a 4-tire change, also a slight chassis adjustment. The car was a little bit loose, so they tightened it up with a chassis adjustment in the left rear. 4 tires and change. Spencer is down and away, headed down pit road.
Michael Waltrip remains on pit road as Spencer comes out. Safety crew in the backstretch, cleaning up the crash involving Presley and Craven.
And we'll watch again as they come off the corner, and we just see heavy contact. It looks like one car in that crash. That's how closely tied together they were. But actually, as we can see, 2 cars, heavy contact to the inside wall. Ricky Craven and the 29 car.
He slid across the entire track at the outside wall and then came to rest in the middle of the track.
All right, let's ride along with Craven and listen.
John Kernan is with Craven.
Well, Ricky Craven will go over and get checked out. But Ricky, you walked over here okay. You look all right. Are you okay?
Just need a break. You know, I've kind of a tough day and caused one of my own problems. And then I had a problem there that I didn't have any help in.
Well, you can obviously hear the dejection. The NASCAR officials want him to go get checked out just to make sure that he's okay. This is the second race in a row that he's been involved in a hard crash where he just really had nowhere to go, and that's what happened to him down the backstretch whenever the 29 car broke loose. Ricky had nowhere to go.
You know, NASCAR only allows so many people across the wall, but in this, they will make an exception in this case, as we see. That's Robin Pemberton. He's an extra man across the wall, but he's going out to pick up that tire and get it out of the way of the 2 cars he goes out. That's the tire off the 33 car. He grabs that tire, and then he almost gets run over by his own driver. Well, he finally gets the tire, and he runs over a water cup, and he rolls the 33 tire back over to them.
And that's what Rusty and Robin were so upset with earlier in the race. So, an interesting race already. There is the very badly damaged car of Ricky Craven being pulled off the racetrack. He is okay. Trackbacks are brought to you by Quaker State Motor Oil for a clean running engine.
Terry Labonte's Kellogg's crew brings 5 impact wrenches out to pit road. They have 3 ready to go, but under rules by NASCAR, you can only use 2 in a Winston Cup race. So after every 2 races or every 20 pit stops, the team goes through those guns and basically they change out the guts. They have a machinist back at the shop, Dale Lambeth, and he goes through and he changes the interior workings of the impact wrench. Now let me show you something. This is the hammer and this is the anvil. It fits in here like this. You put the socket on the end here, and that's where you change the lug nuts. Where these have a tendency to break is right here. This rotates, tighten, loosen, tighten, loosen. The hammer will get chipped right here, then the air gun will not work. This is what the completed assembly looks like attached to the gun. You put the socket on here, you change the lug nuts on the tires. Now it takes about $600 to redo the interior of the gun. The whole gun is $1,800. But every 2 races or 20 pit stops, it's an insurance policy, because in this race 1 year ago, Richard Lambie had his gun go down. He came across the wall, got that 3rd gun, finished his tire stop. They only lost about 3 or 4 positions on the track, but because he used the 3rd gun, Terry Labonte had to go to the end of the longest line. $600 to change the interior of your gun, but worth every cent when you need insurance on pit road.
Very nice, Mr. Weber.
Very nice. Caution remains out here. They're still looking at the backstretch area, cleaning up things so that when we go back to racing, we'll have a smooth and clear racetrack. We'll take another break, too. Welcome back to ESPN Speed World coverage of the TranSouth Financial 400. Overhead shots courtesy of the Pennzoil Copter Cam. And I said Barney earlier today, the helicopter pilot is Barry Bates. And did you know that before 1930, the lubricating oil of choice in race cars was castor oil? And the first significant use of petroleum-based motor oil was in a race car driven by Russell Snowberger at the Indianapolis 500 in 1930, and that motor oil was Pennzoil. How about that?
I thought you were going to let us guess it.
Yeah, guess what the answer is. Well, the cars come off of corner number 4, headed for the start-finish line, Benny.
And here it is. That's the start-finish line. Next year, it's not going to be there. That's not going to be the start-finish line. The start-finish line is going to be a little bit more, a little bit more.
Way up
about right there is going to be the start-finish line. This will be the front stretch. This will be turn 1 down here. And now it is currently turn 3. They're just going to turn the racetrack around because the road behind these grandstands, we see the road coming up right behind the grandstands, the street. It's just simply so close to the grandstands, there's no room to build the grandstands out. We see a 4-lane road right behind. So to expand the racetrack, they had to go on the other side, and they're going to put up, I don't know how many more 1,000 seats over there. And look at all the space over there for parking cars. And there we see the construction going on all the new grandstands and suites.
They've already laid the footings for those new grandstands that will be erected in what will be turn 4 when we come back for the Mountain Dew Southern 500 in September.
Hi, Alan Bestwick here. Dale Earnhardt's with me on NASCAR Shop Talk right after the race. Figure we can find one of those hats.
I guarantee you. Right here.
Hats, shirts, just like he's got. We're going to talk a lot of racing, too. NASCAR Shop Talk after the race, ESPN, with Dale Earnhardt. Stay with us.
How is Dale Earnhardt doing in the race that we're watching this afternoon? Well, he's the first car a lap down in 23rd position, so he's going to be lining up to the inside right up at the front of the field. John Kernan has more.
Well, remember, most of the first half of the race, we've talked about Dale Earnhardt having a pushing problem. The car just too tight. Well, they have made adjustments every single pit stop. And on the last run before this caution, Dale told the crew, one of the crewmen said, Dale said, hey, the car feels pretty good. So everybody's down here waiting to see if Earnhardt can get his lap back as he'll try and get past Dale Jarrett on this restart, Bob.
The last driver to win from the pole position here was Dale Earnhardt in 1990, and he is lined up beside the driver who's hoping to win from the pole position here today. Dale Jarrett can take home the Unocal bonus money of $38,000. The crowd stands once again to watch the restart coming on lap 175.
Earnhardt got a good start down on the inside. He'll have the preferred line swing in there. See what he can do with it.
Can't get it out of that 88 car.
Couldn't get the traction down under that inside.
Ward Burton is also a lap down, and he's going to try to get up there and get his back.
When he slides up, and that the Earnhardt moves right back under it.
Himself from the second place earlier than Burton, Jeff Burton, Jeff Gordon, and Ted Musgrave running in 5th position. So the Yates cars are up front. All 3 of the Roush cars are in the top 10. Mark Martin is 10th.
Never seen Mark Martin as he goes by Phil Parsons. Jimmy Spencer runs on the inside of John Andretti. Spencer in the green and yellow car. Andretti the yellow and white. Red and white, I'm sorry.
Spencer's running 13th.
Bill Elliott has about a 4th position. And let's see. I guess Michael Walker will end up with the 14th spot.
Just about all those cars are battling for position back here.
The car still owns the lead lap.
Is 20th at the moment, still on the lead lap. And here are Jeff Gordon and Ted Musgrave to battle for 4th.
And Musgrave is trying to take it away from Jeff Gordon. Gordon goes very high. Musgrave turns left, gets a spot, takes it away from Jeff Gordon.
Gordon has been the lap leader in the last 2 TranSouth Financial.
Like 7 seconds. It looks like Jeff Gordon has been struggling just a little bit. Does not have that line of speed he had earlier on.
The racetrack might have changed a little bit.
I guess the racetrack has changed. They've probably made adjustments to his car, but I don't think they're quite to his liking right yet. As Hutch Strickland comes up and just tries his best to get alongside, will race down in the corner. He'll take the spot away.
I don't think Gordon will fight him too much.
Still there, still there, still there. Clear.
Let's take a look at the Bud race recap. Dale Jarrett leading 54 of the first 178 laps, 19 lead changes, 10 caution periods totaling 53 laps. The average speed reduced because of the number of cautions. The lap leaders, Dale Jarrett has led the most, followed by Ward Burton, then Ernie Irvin, Jeff Gordon, and Mike Skinner.
That's Jeff Burton.
I'm sorry. Robert Presley and Hutch Strickland have also led. And the cars that are out of competition at the moment include 4, Mike Wallace, Bobby Hillin, Ricky Craven, and Robert Presley, the last 2 of course most recently when they crashed on the backstretch.
There comes our leader, Dale Jarrett, the Ford Quality Care, Ford Thunderbird. And there comes the 28 still trying to get by Earnhardt and Ward Burton. Back and look for the 3rd place car. There he is is right on his left. The two Roush cars, the 99 and the 16, as they go by the 37 of Jeremy Mayfield. There we see Jeff Bodine, Mark Martin, Morgan Shepherd. All these cars driving for position at 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th. Steve Schrader is 10th.
Jeff Bodine there on the left can keep up the pace. He will record his first top 10 here at Darlington since March of 1993.
That's hard to believe. He's had some good runs, very good race cars.
He finished 8th back then, and that was his most recent top 10. Spencer to the inside of Mike Smith. There's Rusty Wallace coming off the corner. He's running 12th.
Trying to catch Jimmy Spencer. That two-car last night, the engine in that two-car, there we see Michael Waltrip and Johnny Benson racing for position. 36 car of Jerry Colby is 29 years out now.
Ernie Irvin has finally cleared those two lap cars and Ward Burton.
There's Morgan Shepherd looking inside of Mark Martin. And here's Ken Schrader looking inside of Morgan. Bobby Hamilton has gone to the garage. He's out of the race.
Well, they had an accident early in the race, and put him behind right from the get-go. Although he stayed in the lead lap for a long, long time, but was never able to get in contention.
There we see from Mark Martin's car looking back at Morgan Shepherd. And
Gary Bradbury getting the black flag the last time around. Position, lots of laps down.
And there goes Mark Martin underneath the 7 of Bodine, his 7th spot.
Boy, it looks like it's tough to get traction down the inside.
And Morgan Shepherd will try to come along with Mark. Morgan Shepherd, by the way, making his 450th NASCAR Winston Cup career start. Jerry has more on the great performance being turned in by the Jack Roush.
Well, Bob, 3rd, 4th, and 7th for the 3 Roush cars, and also what we're seeing today is a little R&D. All 3 of those cars have different chassis builders. The 16 car of Musgrave in 3rd is a Mike Laughlin chassis. The 99 car of Jeff Burton is a Ronnie Hopkins chassis, and Mark Martin is driving the new in-house Roush car chassis designed by Steve Meal. So 3 different race cars, 3 different chassis, and all 3 in the top 7.
Good performance so far by the Roush cars. Mark Martin, since the restart, was in 10th position on lap 175, and now at lap 187 has moved up to 7th spot.
I didn't think that we'd heard the end of Mark Martin for today. We haven't heard much of him, but I thought that we'd be hearing more of him.
There is the man in charge, the owner of the 3 cars. He's got his calculator out. We're going to take a break and be back with more in just a moment. ESPN Speed World coverage of the TranSouth Financial 400 from Darlington, South Carolina. Being brought to you by Quaker State Motor Oil for a clean running engine. By the all-new wide track Grand Prix by Pontiac. Wider is better. And by Walmart. Always low prices, always Walmart. 197 laps into a 293-lap event, and Dale Jarrett is the leader of the race, followed by his teammate Ernie Irvin, and then Ted Musgrave.
Jarrett had been about 2.3 seconds ahead of Irvin. Irvin had cut it down to 2 seconds, and Jarrett picked it up just a little bit again. Might depend on how they catch traffic, like just past Bradbury there. David Green still out there circling the Caterpillar car.
21% of the wins here at Darlington since 1950 have come from the pole position. However, the pole sitter has crashed in the last two TranSouth Financial 400s. Jarrett trying to break that string and has been, he did, I guess you could almost say crash. He scraped the wall pretty good earlier in the race.
It was enough to get my attention.
There's the battle for third spot. Ted Musgrave right now in the 16 car. The Family Channel car has it. And the 99 Exide car, Burton is trying to get it. And they caught Dale Earnhardt. Earnhardt, the 3 car, is a lap down. He's back in 24th spot.
We saw Robert Presley limping when he got out of his car after his crash. Bill, what's the medical update on him?
Well, Bob, Robert is still in the infield care center. He's complaining of a tingling sensation in both legs. I talked to their team manager, Billy Engel. He said because of Robert's wild pirouette wreck at Daytona, they're going to be extra careful here because Robert did suffer some lower back pain after that wreck. So Robert's still in the infield care center, feels pretty good, except for that tingling sensation in his legs. They're going to check him out thoroughly to make sure the leg problem is not related to the lower back problem. Then they hope to release him.
Thank you, Bill, for the update. There's Hut Strickland, who's 5th.
Just having another good run here at Darlington. Good to see. That team has really worked hard trying to get up front status and certainly have achieved it here at Darlington.
Way down the track here from the Tide car, which is being driven by Elton Sawyer. You can see Jarrett.
The next car back is Dale Jarrett. Let's see how fast he closes in on the back bumper of Elton Sawyer.
Elton Sawyer is the last car on the lead lap, currently being shown in 22nd position.
And again, we remind you that Ricky Rudd stepped out of that car because Ricky has had the flu all week, and although he said he didn't feel all that bad, he wanted to get out and give Elton the controls.
Right now it's about a half straightaway between the 10 car, the Tide car, and Dale Jarrett. Here comes Jarrett as he closes in.
Jarrett, I mentioned a moment ago that during the urban we closed the gap. Jarrett has pulled away a little bit now to 2.5 seconds.
He's closing in rapidly on us. Comes a Radio Shack field summary. Musgrave started 21st. Ken Schrader is in 9th position. He started 13th. Shepard is 8th after starting 23rd.
And we can see Dale Jarrett get ever closer and closer and closer. Just 4 or 5 car lengths now.
And look, DW's hanging in there in the top 20, and so is Chad Little having a good run, best run of the year for him in the John Deere car.
22 cars on the lead lap. Dale Earnhardt a lap down at 24th.
And you know the crews in the pit area go by speed. Their speed is stopwatch in seconds, not miles per hour. And 1/10 of a second, we can see that Dale Jarrett was probably outrunning Elton Sawyer about 0.2 of a second, and we can see just how much 0.2 of a second is on the racetrack. It took him about 3 laps to catch him and pass him.
An incredible performance so far in 1997 by Dale Jarrett. 830 laps led out of 1,325 in the last 4 races. That's 63%. And again, we say that he's led more than 50% of total laps, and he did lead a lap at Daytona. So Dale Jarrett is certainly in championship form in 1997. champions, Benny Parsons, Ned Jarrett, Bill Weber, John Kernan, and Dr. Jerry Punch. Back at Darlington, there's the leader, Dale Jarrett. He has just put the second lap on Phil Parsons, who is driving the 42 car in place of Joe Nemechek. And let us express our condolences, as we have throughout the weekend, to John Nemechek. John, of course, passed away on Friday afternoon from his injury suffered at Miami last weekend. Chevy has won the last 4 races here, but it's a Ford show here this afternoon with 5 Fords up front.
And then we got a Chevrolet, another Ford, Pontiac, Morgan Shepherd, then Schrader Chevrolet, and then Michael Walker Ford. So 5 of the top 7, 5 of the top 10, 7 of the top 10 Fords, a couple of Chevrolets, and 1 Pontiac. And there we see Jarrett in the back bumper of Robbie Gordon's Coors Light Chevrolet.
Let's take a lap here from the Pennzoil Copter Cam.
I bet Robbie Gordon is saying, how in the world did that guy, how does he run that fast around this old racetrack?
Robbie is being shown in 33rd position.
And you see, watch Dale Jarrett go down in the corner. That's the start-finish line down in the corner. He'll go low on the racetrack, right to the white line. Then he's going to let the car drift back up. As the tires get worn, they will go back up. And see, Dale Jarrett's going off fairly low. Behind him, the 9 car of Lake Speed coming off high. And most of the cars are running high. Now here he'll dip down the corner very low, back up. And Dale Jarrett's car handling super because he does not go right up to that wall now. As he comes off 4, he does not even take the car down to the white line. Runs in the middle of the racetrack. Superior car this afternoon.
Those black marks on the wall, they have been put there since activity began. They repaint the wall every year, of course, before every race. And there are a lot of black marks on the wall here at Darlington all the way around this place. Well, we watched the Pennzoil Copter Cam shot as Jarrett went around the track. Now we'll look at Ted Musgrave from his onboard.
Man, do they have the steering wheel close to their body.
They do. I didn't drive a race car that way, Bean, and my arms sort of outstretched. And I don't know, they say you got more leverage this way than when you're outstretched, so I guess I've done it wrong.
It's just amazing how close the steering wheel. See, his elbows is rubbing the steering wheel.
Whether he's using that for a little extra strength there or just resting them a little bit.
Bill Weber has more on Ted Musgrave.
Well, you heard Dr. Jerry Punch talk about how the 3 Roush cars have 3 different chassis here, and the one Ted Musgrave is driving is a new Laughlin car that this team tested with 3 times, and it's never been raced until today. In fact, they hadn't planned to race it here. They wanted to bring the same Roushcraft car they used at Rockingham, Richmond, and Atlanta, but of course, Ted was in that violent wreck at Atlanta 2 weeks ago, so they had to bring the new car here. The car that Ted was driving in Atlanta 2 weeks ago is still at the Roush shops in Liberty, North Carolina, and NASCAR plans to take a team up there on Monday to inspect that car and see what they can learn from that violent wreck. The Jerry Punch in the 88 pit.
Let me show you a chart here in Dale Jarrett's pit. The chart on the very bottom says teamwork. Teamwork is the fuel that allows common people to produce uncommon results. That's what it's all about here in NASCAR racing. This is the Darlington tire order. They started the race with set number 3, then went set number 12, 16, 7. They currently have set number 11 on the car. Set number 6 is on the wall. Set number 9 is on deck, meaning they're just right behind the wall. They have 3 sets left, 8, 14, and 15. That's how they keep account of the tires used. Now, according to the calculations here in the Jarrett pit, if they stay green, they will need 1 and only 1 more pit stop around lap 128.
What do you suppose that means, Darling tire order? I guess that's Darlington. I was trying to get it right, though.
Oh, boy. So Jarrett continues to lead, and 218 laps have been completed out of 293. We'll be back in just a moment with more. Stay with us. Welcome back to Darlington, South Carolina, the TranSouth Financial 400. ESPN presents the NIT semifinals Tuesday from Madison Square Garden. First game beginning at 7 o'clock features UConn against Florida State. And That will be followed at about 9 o'clock by Michigan against Arkansas. NIT semifinals Tuesday starting at 7 Eastern time on ESPN. And I guess all of you guys from North Carolina are pretty happy with the basketball team in the NCAA, huh?
Carolina Tar Heels doing very good. There's Darrell Waltrip.
Yep, about to go a lap down, but he stayed on the lead lap all this time.
Yep, he's running in 17th position.
And there see Kenny Wallace's Square D car directly in front. He's in 16th.
John Kernan has a report on Darrell Waltrip, who is almost about to be lapped, John.
You know, Bob, they're really happy with the results today. This morning, I was talking to Darrell. I said, Darrell, how you running here? And he said, well, not good. He said, in fact, this is the third day of a 3-day test for us. We've thrown everything out that we've learned Friday, Saturday, started from scratch today. And he told me a little bit later on, we're going to go out and make some long runs. So they're really pleased with the way this day so far has turned out for them.
Darrell Waltrip has logged more miles than any other driver here at this racetrack heading into the day. In 10,108 miles, and he has led 1,722 laps in 47 races here. Here's Hut Strickland on pit road.
Could be his last pit stop. There's 68 laps to go. They should be able to go that far.
He relinquishes 4th position to come in for the stop, and the crew quickly to the right side of the car.
You see the wrench going to the right rear, so there is going to be a chassis adjustment. We see put 1 round of wedge in the car. Jackman's around, cleaning that windshield, taking the strip off the windshield.
Stop! My gun broke! My gun broke!
Oh, no.
Need a gun!
Oh, what a tough break.
Exactly what we talked about. Bill Weber's track fact. He could not get the left front tire off. Now the rear tire.
Yep, guys, we might have some caution here. We've got float motor.
31.1 seconds, but it was a slow.
Right, pull on your belts, buddy.
Looks like
what you going over?
Yeah, Brett Ledine in the close call, Ford number 11. Apparently the engine has succumbed on that car.
He was running 32nd, 3 laps down. A lot of smoke from the back.
And the yellow flag is waving. Oh, what a tough break for Hut Strickland.
That is a tough break. Man, everybody else now get to make their last pit stop, or what could be their last pit stop. Waltrip getting his lap back, coming off of turn 4 in front of Dale Jarrett. Rick Maston made a green flag pit stop. He went 2 laps down. He now gets 1 of those laps back.
And Waltrip does get his lap back, crossing the line ahead of the leader, Dale Jarrett.
Wow, heads up by Darrell Waltrip, get back in the lead lap.
This is the 10th caution period of the race. We've had a lot of them for one reason or another. Now the pace car comes onto the track in turn number 3, picks up Jarrett.
The pit road should be open.
Lake speed there between 1st and 2nd, Jarrett and Irvin. And yep, pit road is apparently open because here they come down off the bank.
You saw the green flag waving as the cars went by.
Well, this was a break for a lot of drivers back there. They were almost about to go a lap down, including Terry Labonte and Jeff Bodine. Let's go to the pits.
Waiting for Jeff Gordon to make what should be his final scheduled stop of the afternoon. He rolls to a stop. They go around to the right side. The 88, the 28, and the 24 triple pits. They clean the windshield. They make a wedge adjustment on the right side. Right side tires are on, now around to the left. The Jackman swings around, and they'll put on left side tires. Down to Jerry Punch.
Left side tires now going on the quality care Ford, pitting all the way at the end of pit road by virtue of being the pole sitter. Now left side. Jarrett is down and away 20.2 seconds. The 24 car now left side tires. Ernie Irvin 26.8 on Jeff Gordon. Ernie Irvin still on pit road. 20.2 was Jarrett's time. Irvin is still in the pits. 35.4. Problems with the left side tires on the car number 20. Let's go to John Kernan.
Michael Walter pitting here on the backstretch, moved all the way up to 7th place. It'll be a 4-tire change. They've just made an air pressure adjustment, trying to loosen the car up a little bit. You see Linwood putting tape on the front. Michael got into the back of someone, and we've seen the hood kind of flopping around, so they don't want that hood flying off, so they're taping it down. Left side going on. Michael Walter down and away in this brand new race car.
Several others coming out, including Johnny Benson and Kenny Wallace from the backstretch pits. 229 laps completed. This could be the last pit stop as the laps wind down in the TranSouth Financial 400. Under our 10th caution of the afternoon. The record, by the way, is 15 set back in 95. Last year we had 11. The Pennzoil Copter Cam has our overhead shots. You remember my cousin Ab, don't you? Ab Jenkins, the man who made Bonneville famous for a course record of unlimited speed. Well, he lubricated his engines with Pennzoil. Ernie Irvin did not have a very good pit stop.
No, he sure didn't. Took about 35 seconds. See, he slams on the brake, slides the right front, the car goes up.
Get the tires off, okay.
Yep.
Yep.
Now having trouble on the right rear.
Yep.
He couldn't get the jack, was not quite high enough. They couldn't get the tire on. Now they've got some kind of problem. Something stuck behind.
Boy, that was a major problem there. Jerry Punch?
We're with Raymond Fox, who changes the right rear tire for Ernie Irvin. Raymond, we just saw the pit stop again. What was the problem with the right rear?
Yeah, I don't know. We went over there and I took the tire off, but it just wouldn't go back on, and so I just sort of had to push it on there pretty hard. I don't know what the deal is. We told him to feel for vibrations, and if it didn't feel good, tell him to come in. But we're not out of this thing. We're still good, and we'll get back up there and win this thing.
All right, Raymond, the right rear tire finally went on. He had to push it 3 times and finally had to shove that right rear tire up to get it on as we get ready to go green for what will probably be, that probably was the last pit stop.
Here's the AutoZone pit summary. Jarrett first to first, Irvin second back to 12th. Musgrave gained a position, Burton gained a position, and Jeff Gordon lost 5. Here's the green flag, and we're back at it.
Put Strickland down on the inside. He is 2 laps down as a result of that green flag pit stop, and while he was in the pits, the caution came out.
Right now, Jack Roush cars 2, 3, 4 following Dale Jarrett. Quality gear forward.
I'm sure there were a lot of chassis adjustments made during that pit stop.
Labonte, Ernie Irvin, all trying to fight their way towards the front.
There's still 16 cars left.
All those cars battling for position. The 7, the 24, 18, 28. Also Michael Walter and the 30 car, 21 and the 30.
Robbie Gordon has a lot of smoke coming from the right side of that car. He has had an encounter with the wall and been in the sheet metal.
Yeah, we can see it just flatten the right side of the car. We've seen that 3 or 4 times up in that corner today. The first one was the 43 car, Bobby Hamilton. Also Mike Wallace, Spam car. Now here comes Mark Martin trying to get by Hut Strickland.
Musgrave has moved in very close to Jarrett. And you can see as they go into turn 3, he's right on his back.
Jeff Gordon now shown 9th on your pylon. Bill Weber has more.
Well, Bob, that last pit stop for Jeff Gordon was a little over 26 seconds, and that's because the crew had to remove a rubber from the left front spring. The car was just too loose. They said we weren't going to win with it in there. We had to take it out. That cost them time and track position. Now Jeff tries to find his way. A quick update on Robert Presley. He has been transported via ambulance to the Cloud Medical Center for x-rays and observation. They are concerned about his lower back. He does appear to have some tingling, as I mentioned, in his legs and his feet. They are concerned concerned he may have re-injured something in his lower back. That Daytona wreck, they put him on a backboard and took him to the hospital via ambulance here at Darlington.
All right, we'll hope for the best for Robert Presley. Meanwhile, Ernie Irvan has passed Jeff Bodine. Here comes Johnny Vincent with another outside pass, Benny.
He's on the outside all day long, and there he goes by Jeff Bodine. Bodine ran so well early on in the race, he's struggling now. There see Rusty Wallace going by Kenny Schrader. That is for 5th spot.
Hey, show and tell time, I guess. Rusty hasn't been in the top 5 all day, but here he is now.
And what a run by Kenny Schrader. He has been in the front of the field all afternoon.
He's been in the top 10, been in the top 5 on numerous occasions this afternoon. Schrader, his best run of the year. He's had some good runs, but he's had some bad luck along the way. So Andy Petrie, first year was the owner of that team. Well, it'll be the second year, I guess, as owner of it.
Up front, Dale Jarrett now finds a rear view mirror full of Ted Musgrave.
And we can see 2 distinct different lines as they go through one. Jarrett on the bottom of the racetrack, Musgrave high on the racetrack.
And Ted really gets the run off that second turn as a result of being high, but it doesn't get enough run to be able to mount a charge on Jarrett going into turn 3.
Jarrett has never won a race here. Ted Musgrave has never won a race. And look at that glare, and it's pretty serious right now. Yeah, where'd he go? And so the drivers now begin to set up for their final race strategy. 241 of 293 laps are completed. Darlington Raceway, the track too tough to tame has just reached out and snatched Ernie Irvan in its grasp, and we believe that he hit the wall at both ends of the racetrack.
I think he might have brushed it down in 1 and 2, but it looks like he got in the wall pretty good up in 3 and 4. This is 3 and 4. He goes in the corner. That's Bobby Labonte right behind him. Now, as Ernie starts to come off, he's very, very high. You just simply cannot make the car come off he cannot make it turn left. It pushes up, he goes up, and he really didn't hit it as hard as he could have.
But a Darlington strike on the side of the 28 car.
And Terry Labonte in the 5 car there had slowed down a little bit a few laps ago. Several cars passed him, and it might be the fact that he saw Ernie up there in trouble. Bill, did you see what was going on there?
Ned, you're stealing my stuff. That's exactly right. Terry saw that Ernie was in trouble. Got out of the gas. The guys behind Terry couldn't see Ernie. They went by him, so Terry got out of the gas, stayed out of trouble, but lost some positions.
Well, he has dropped out of the top 10. Ernie Irvan had. He's now back to 12th, and here comes Michael Waltrip to try to take that position from him, and he does. So he's back to 13th, now 14th.
Well, we had a report that maybe he was going to head to the pits, but he couldn't get down off the racetrack out of the groove that time, so he has to stay out there. Tough break for Ernie Irvan. And this all maybe could have started as a result of the problem they had in the pits there, and just sort of got back there and maybe trying a little too hard or something. I don't know. But how about Chad Little? Right up in there, having a great run here today in the 97 car.
He is 2 laps down in 28th, but he stayed in the lead lap for quite a few laps. As you see, another Radio Shack field summary. 16 cars on the lead lap. Darrell Waltrip, the last car on the lead lap.
Ernie Irvan now does come on pit road. Boy, this is a costly situation for Ernie. It's too bad. Jerry?
Well, 55 miles an hour, he brings the car to a halt. The first time, guys, in turns 1 and 2, he did not hit the wall. He said, I got close to it, but I didn't hit it. But the next time in 3 and 4, I did hit the wall as they had him trying to beat the right front fender away. Joey Knuckles with a sledgehammer. They put the right side tires back on. A small brake fire in the left front. Ernie is down and away. Will lose valuable time under the green flag.
So Ernie Irvan rolls back out. Meanwhile, Dale Jarrett remains up front, and he has now clinched the 5 bonus points for leading the most laps here in this race. He has 30 bonus points this year coming into the event, and Mark Martin closest with 20 bonus points. As we have said so many times, accumulating those bonus points sure helps when you're in the championship battle. Now about 7 or 8 car lengths separate first and second, as Ted Musgrave remains on the chase to Dale Jarrett, who's the leader of the TranSouth Financial 400. While we were in commercial break, that 7 or 8 car length advantage decreased considerably as Ted Musgrave has closed in a little bit on Dale Jarrett.
And they are pulling away from the third place car now, which is Mark Martin. Mark Martin just passed his teammate Jeff Burton a couple of laps ago and has taken over third. But those front 2 cars are pulling away. But Jarrett can't pull away from Musgrave. He's really hanging tight.
Gordon just took the 6th position away from Ken Schrader, and here's how he did it.
Took him 3 and 4 as he went in the corner. Schrader drifted up the racetrack. Jeff Gordon just drove under him.
Now here's a battle for 8th position. Morgan Shepherd and Bobby Labonte.
There's 3 Pontiacs. 8, 9, and 10.
Labonte gets the position, and that other Pontiac is Johnny Gibson. He moves from the inside of Morgan Shepherd.
Well, he made an inside move that time.
Yes, I can't believe that. 30 car of Johnny Benson, the Pennzoil car, been passing all day up high on the racetrack. There, ever see him go up his favorite place on the racetrack?
It's a pretty good run on the Bobby, but I believe Bobby's going to hold off the challenge.
As Bobby goes up, let's see if he can dive underneath.
Quite an improvement since 1996 in terms of points position for Bobby Labonte. He came into this race in 5th position. Last year, he was 29th in points.
Another top 10 going for Morgan.
Leading.
And coming up on his teammate Ernie Irvin, made that green flag, unscheduled green flag pit stop. Ernie is being shown in 26th position, 1 lap down, but he's about to get it. Texaco Havens Ford is still not where he would like for it to.
Well, Ned said a few laps ago that he didn't think we had heard the last of Mark Martin, and indeed that is the case because Mark is in 3rd position now. There's quite a bit of racetrack between that car and the first 2, but Mark Martin is running well and the race isn't over yet. This is the Valvoline onboard camera.
He just hung back there, stayed out of trouble. We saw him several times in the first half of the race. Cars come up and take it a little bit faster than he, and he wouldn't race with me. He'd pull over and let him go. He races the racetrack. That's smart.
And again, we mentioned that the Jack Roush cars are 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. There, Ernie goes 2 laps down. We'll check the speeds as the cars come down across the line.
Musgrave is right there. Let's go. Let's check the speeds and see what kind of... Musgrave that time ran just a little bit quicker.
Well, they came up on Ernie Irvin, and I'm not sure if it's an implication because of the fact that they passed Ernie there, and that allowed some other cars to run a little bit faster or at least slow them down. See, Jeff Gordon ran over 159 miles an hour. He was out on a clean racetrack by himself.
That lap, Jeff Gordon was the fastest car, but he's in 6th spot, got a long ways to go.
But he doesn't have far to catch Rusty Wallace. He's coming up on him in a hurry going into turn 4. There they come off of the turn, and Gordon has caught Rusty Wallace looking for 5th.
Yep. May get it here at the end of the straightaway. Jeff gets down to the inside, makes the pass.
And then last time we see Dale Jarrett was the fastest car around the racetrack. Bobby Labonte ran a good speed, 159 miles per hour. Morgan had some trouble.
Boy, there was some contact there between Rusty and Jeff.
Well, 24 cars wiggling, isn't it?
Yes, it is. And again, look at the glare problem here down the straightaway and into turn one. Rusty's going to try to take back that spot in one. Almost blinded by the light.
Couldn't quite get it to stick on the bottom of the racetrack, and knew if he went in there too hard, he'd slide up into Jeff Gordon and wreck both of them, so he used his brakes wisely.
Bill has more on Rusty Wallace.
Interesting story on Rusty's motor. On Saturday morning, NASCAR whistled it to get the compression ratio. You'll remember when Rusty won earlier this year, that was called into question. Well, it whistled very high, rounded off to 13.9, which is legal, but just barely below the maximum of 14.0. They took it out, took it back to the shop, and found that indeed it was 13.87. So at midnight last night, Mike Agee began working on that motor, got the compression ratio down to 13.66, put the motor together at 4 a.m., put it in the car, got his wife out of bed so she could keep him awake on the drive back to Darlington, and they loaded that motor back into the car this morning. Because of the carbon buildup during the race, they couldn't guarantee that at 13.87, that the motor would whistle under the maximum of 14.0 after the race was over.
Now, what does he mean by whistle, Benny?
Ah, here we go. Musgrave taking a look.
They ran in on the bumper side during turns 3 and 4, and they got very tight coming off that turn. Allowed Musgrave to move right in on there.
Whistler is a machine that actually checks the compression ratio of the engine, or gets it very close.
So Jarrett continues to lead, but Ted Musgrave is within a car length. Martin is third, followed by Jeff Burton and Jeff Gordon. Jarrett continuing to lead Ted Musgrave in the TranSouth Financial 400. Once again, a salute to and a thank you to the people up in the helicopter for the Pennzoil copter cam shots. Mary Bates and the boys have been doing a great job. By the way, you may wonder how high the helicopter must fly above the racetrack at these shots. Well, if the visibility in the ceiling is low, they can be as low as 300 to 400 feet. But on a day like this, they can get up to as much as 1,500 feet above the racetrack for the Pennzoil copter shots. Jeff Bodine and Morgan Shepherd are battling for 11.
Let's put Jeff Bodine in that spot.
We understand that Mark Martin may have a problem, John Kernan.
Well, the crew is ready to change tires if need be. Mark had radioed in a couple of laps ago and said he thought he had a right rear tire going down. So right now he's just trying to ride it out and hold on because he is in the third place. But just in case he decides to pit, the crew is ready.
There are only 20 laps to go, and at the conclusion of our coverage, join us for Shop Talk with Alan Bestwick here on ESPN, and the special guest will be Dale Earnhardt with an opportunity to buy some clothing and paraphernalia. That's Shop Talk right after our coverage of this event. By the way, Dale Earnhardt is running in 18th position, and Jeff Gordon has gone to third.
I think we're way on break when he passed the fourth place car, Jeff Burton, and now Gordon has come all the way up and passed Mark Martin, has taken over third, and Jeff Burton is not too far behind Mark Martin. He's in fifth place.
But there's a lot of racetrack between Gordon and Ted Musgrave.
And he's running out of laps. Right now, as you see, 17 laps to go, and this baby's going to be over. Mark Martin right now just trying to hang on and salvage the best finish he can get.
Mark Martin is the only driver in the top 10 in points without a top 5 finish this year. He's got one going now, but as to whether he can finish in a top 5 position, we'll have to wait and see.
Running about the same speed, Jarrett and Musgrave, 156.7 roughly in that area.
You see how long it took for the 24 car to come by, and he was just a little bit slower.
He's about 10 and 6/10 seconds behind the leader.
And we can see just how slow Mark Martin is by looking at those speeds, 153.6. So he was the slowest of the cars in the top 10. So right now, he is struggling.
Yeah, Rusty Wallace coming up on him in a hurry. Now Rusty is taking over the 5th place, going into turn 3 for Mark Martin. Mark Martin is coming into the pits. He's fought it as long as he can. Said these tires, I'm scared. If there's something wrong, maybe they're going down, slipping and sliding with them. So they better get him in the pits.
John Kernan right there.
55 miles an hour as Mark Martin coming down. Pit road just crosses the area where the start-finish line is. He'll come into the pits. The crew will go to work on the right side. He said he thought he had a right rear tire going down. It's up on the jack. Lug nuts off, tire off, going on. Looks like a good pit stop so far. Mark waiting, and just being 2 tires. He's down and away. And can't really see from here. They'll have to put a gauge on it and check it out to see if in fact it was going down.
Wow, Schrader almost wrecked.
He almost crashed. He was racing with Johnny Benson for the 7th position. Man, oh man.
That was close.
I would say that his sprint car days, running those cars sideways, helped him a little bit.
Like he was on dirt up there, had her all cocked sideways, broad sliding in the corner.
See, Michael Waltrip also racing for 9th spot with Schrader.
Good to see Kenny with a good run here this afternoon.
See, Michael goes up that high against the wall. He's going to try to get a good run on Schrader. Can he do it? No, he can't. He'll have to fall back in.
Schrader's best finish this year was at Rockingham. He finished 18th, and he almost bought the fence here. Watch him.
Yeah, there was he tried to turn under the 30 car, and when he did, he just simply got it sideways. When he corrected, almost went back the other way in the wall.
Now, Bill Elliott is not on the same lap as Kenny Schrader.
Mark Martin back in the pits, guys. John Kernan didn't find what was wrong, huh?
No, Ned, they didn't. They checked that right rear tire, and the pressure was fine, but Martin's back out there, and it is still very loose on him, so they'll come in and they'll put left side tires on the car.
Well, that's going to be costly to him from a point standpoint, Bob. He was up in the top 5 in the points. That's hurt him.
If points were awarded now, Jarrett would be in the lead still. Jeff Gordon, however, would be second. And the leaders have come up on some heavy traffic.
Yeah, they had to back off again a little bit. They were coming up on him. They had to back off. Jarrett trying to get on the inside of him before they were turn 1. And he makes the pass. Into turn 4. Now, Ernie Erdman, they pull away from him. He has run back down Jarrett and Musgrave. I'm sure that Jarrett Musgrave's tires, which are older than Ernie's, because he had to make that unscheduled pit stop, but their tires are getting worn, and which one has the best tires for these last 10 laps?
It's 10 laps.
Well, don't you know, look at that up in front of the leaders.
Yes, the heavy traffic cars side by side.
Just 8.5 laps to go now. And here are Michael Waltrip and Johnny Benson going for 7th position. And Ken Schrader is there in the battle also. It's time to make their move. Here's Schrader on the inside of Benson as back to the lead. We see that it's closed within a car length of it.
And there we see the traffic. Who's it going to be an advantage to?
$38,000 of Unocal bonus money, and he'll pick up the $10,000 in the Winston Cup leader bonus if he wins this race, because he will also be the points leader.
Here goes Musgrave down on the inside, trying to take the lead.
Nope, he'll have to back off. Musgrave has never won a NASCAR Winston Cup race. There's Jarrett, who is outside.
Boy, those cars slipping and sliding right now. I think Jarrett's tires are completely gone.
This would be worth quite a bit of money to Jack Roush Racing as well. They put Musgrave on the winner's circle plan in NASCAR. Here you go. Musgrave's got another great run.
Cannot makes the pass, however. There are now 6 laps to go. Can Jarrett hold off this challenge by Ken Musgrave? Musgrave and win his second race of the year. Now the interval grows a little bit.
Here's where Musgrave really has been getting a great run. Let's see if he does it once again. Once again, he gets off that corner very, very well.
And again, they're approaching some slower traffic ahead. They'll have to move around it before this race is over. Who's it going to favor?
That traffic, it's hard to say. Depends on how they catch them, where they catch them on the racetrack. Those drivers fighting for position as well. Musgrave is definitely better coming off of turn 4. It seemed to be pretty equal in turns 1 and 2. Here he's right on his bumper this time coming off of there.
Closing the gap. Let's see what he does coming onto the straightaway. Takes a look to the inside. 4 laps to go.
He wants to get on the outside of Jarrett. He wants to get out there. Can he? No, he can't.
Jarrett Labonte sees him coming. He's going to get out of the way. He's the last car on the lead lap. Oh, this Jarrett almost ran into the back of Labonte. Didn't know that he was going to slow down that much going into the turn.
And Musgrave got another good run. Let's see. Can he do it this time?
Jarrett just has too much straightaway speed. Musgrave gets the good run coming off the corner, but Dale is able to stave off the challenge in the straightaway. Here, another good run by Musgrave.
3 laps to go, 2.5.
When they pass Terry Labonte, they put him a lap down in 14th. There are 13 cars on the lead lap now.
Once again, Musgrave really getting off the 4th corner, but he just can't get the inside position to it. 2 laps to go. Less than 2 laps now.
And 2 Fords battling out for the win here. Chevy has won the last 4 races here, but it's Ford up front in the first 2 positions. Jeff Gordon is 3rd in the Chevy.
Well, now that traffic is about to come into play. They run up on Jimmy Spencer. Spencer gets down out of the way, totally out of the way. Said, you go at it, guys.
Here comes the white flag. Doyle Ford has it in hand. He waits it. 1 more lap to go. 1.3 miles of competition left in this TranSouth Financial 400. Musgrave looks to the inside in 2. He may have him here coming off the corner.
And he breaks loose a little bit. Couldn't get the traction he needed. Still, that traffic is the problem up in front of him as we go into turn 3.
This is where Musgrave has been getting his good runs. Let's see how he handles it this time. Off of the corner. He looks to the inside once again, but off the corner as they come to the line. It is Dale Jarrett winning the TranSouth Financial 400 by just about a car length on Ted Musgrave. It's Dale Jarrett's second win of 1997, his first Darlington victory in his 19th start. Here's John Kernan with Todd Parrott.
Hold on a minute, let me catch my breath.
Well, Todd catching his breath and the crew celebrating.
Can't say enough about this race team, Jim. And what about that race car driver? That son of a gun is awesome. We finally won at Darlington.
How about the horsepower? I mean, you use that coming off the corners.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that was pushing terrible. I mean, it's just give all the credit to Dale Jarrett and his ability to drive a race car. His son of a gun's good, and that's all we can say. Dale Jarrett won this race.
Well, go over to Victory Lane, Todd, and celebrate with him. You don't have a far walk to go.
Thanks.
In his 295th career NASCAR Winston Cup start, Dale Jarrett wins his 10th victory, and they have all come on super speedways. ESPN's Speed World presentation of the TranSouth Financial 400 is being brought to you by Goodyear, #1 in tires. By Miller Lite, who reminds you that anything can happen at Miller time. And by the more than 1,500 AutoZone stores across America. AutoZone, the best parts in auto parts. And we will be back in Victory Lane to visit with Dale Jarrett, the winner here at Darlington today in the TranSouth Financial 400. Dale Jarrett continues his domination in Winston Cup racing. In the last 4 events, he has 2 wins, all top 3 finishes, and he has led 65% of the laps. He's in victory lane again here today. And for the McDonald's Winner's Circle interview, here's Dr. Jerry Punch.
Under a setting sun, a rising sun, comes to victory lane. Second-generation driver Dale Jarrett. And Dale, congratulations. He gets a big hug and kiss from his wife, Kelly, and family here in victory lane. DJ, congratulations. What a great run. Those last 10 laps are as good as I've seen anywhere.
It's incredible. And hats off to Ted Musgrave. He could have probably turned me a couple of times. I cut him off pretty bad. He had a good car. I really picked up a bad push there. But this car was great. I tell you, I got into the wall again over there, got in some oil, and thought maybe that was the end of the day. But these guys got it back right. And, I just want to thank everybody. And want to let the Nemecheks know that this victory's for them. I know it doesn't come close to taking up the pain that they have, but they're a wonderful family, and we're glad to know that we've got the time with them and had the time with John. He was a great person, and this is for you guys.
All right, of course, Dale Jarrett, it shows how much your dad said winning at Darlington was special, maybe more special than anywhere else he ever won. And you're choked up with emotion.
Yeah, this is a special place. I mean, this is a driver's racetrack. You have to work your tail off here all day long. You're all constantly chasing the racetrack. You're running inches from the wall every single lap and trying to stay out of it. And this is very gratifying. I've been here in a Busch car, but getting here in a Winston Cup car is the ultimate.
Well, 32 years after his dad went to victory lane here at Darlington, son Dale, a rising sun, was won his second in a row, but his first ever at the track too tough to tame. Let's go to Bell Weber.
And Ted Musgrave is surrounded by the media here at the pumps. And Ted, congratulations, a great run for you. Anything you could have done to catch the 88?
I don't know. The Prime Star Family Channel car was good. It just needed a couple more laps, I believe. I wore him down pretty much, but so was I. I had maybe just a tick better. Position made a lot right there because I was as quick as him and he was as quick as me, but neither one of us could pass each other. That was the problem. And like I say, the guys really worked hard today. We came from way in the back and made about 20 adjustments today. Air pressure, wedge, and track bar, and on and on and on. And they did the right deal. We got it all together at the end, and I can't say no more than them guys. They did a heck of a job for me today.
Great run for Ted Musgrave. He comes home second.
Let's take a look at the unofficial results. Dale Jarrett led the most laps. The yellow arrows will indicate those who led at least one lap. On down through finishing 14th was Kenny Wallace, the last car on the lead lap. Dale Earnhardt, 15th. There's the 16 through 30 finishers. And we remind you that we will have our next telecast of NASCAR Winston Cup Racing in 3 weeks at Bristol, Tennessee. Let's take a look at the point standings. Gordon moves up 2, Labonte down 1, Burton up 1, Jeff Burton up 3, Martin down 3, Jeff Bodine up 3, Rudd down 2, Rusty Wallace gains 6th, and Irvin moves up 1 position. Coming up next, Shop Talk with Dale Earnhardt. Alan Bestwick will be your host. Congratulations once again to Dale Jarrett on his second victory in 1997. Again, we'll see you in 3 weeks from the high banks of Bristol Raceway in Tennessee. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports.